All right, it's Thursday, man. It's the 3rd of July. Tomorrow's the 4th of July. Jerry's not here to help me tonight, so I got to do this all by myself. So I get slurred and drunk. It's Jerry's fault because he usually hosts. I do the introductions and the end. So I got to do everything tonight. Fuck me.
You
Poor
But
want me to help you
you.
out, Mark?
huh?
You want me to help you out?
Nah, I got it.
Yeah,
I
that
can do
isn't
it.
that why you brought Andy onto the show last minute?
No, shut up. That wasn't it. That was a
I'm not the only one that felt slighted of my slight.
sorry.
Sorry.
Dude, I have so much in my brain sometimes I forget things. It happens, man. I'm sitting here trying to get Jerry to do this, do that. Finally, I got 2 videos up on Freeform by him. They're doing really well, by the way. Like I told him, what he's getting like comments. I don't really get comments. He's getting all these comments about jam bands. Like, yeah, go check this out. Check this out. Oh, why? You need to be in another mood. And I'm like going, fuck Jerry, get in there and answer them, bitch. You did your job. Now answer them. Talk to your people.
He's usually very good at responding to comments and stuff, so he
Yeah.
probably will.
Yeah, I hope so because I've been just liking them so I can get them off my feed. But hey, we got guests tonight. We got Big Bushy. What's up, Big Bushy?
What is going on? I'm up past my bedtime. I'm
Oh
going
my
to cry
God.
about it this whole show.
And we got Eddy Cannistraci. What's up, brother?
Hey, yeah, just chilling. Still in this period in my life. I'm still I'm still at a family's home, right? My family's home. It's complicated, but it's my mother's home, which she used to live with my brother in Tampa that they're selling. My brother's already in Tennessee. They're building a nice big house outside Nashville. I am moving to an apartment or condo in Nashville proper, like in the city somewhere. Probably next month. That's what I'm looking for right now. But right now I'm like a hobo. I don't really have a house.
The
I'm crashing
city
at my mother's
rocks.
place.
It's my favorite city in this country.
Yeah, I know. And you hang there sometimes. So yeah, we'll have to next time you're in Nashville, if I'm there, which law of averages say I will be, we'll have to hang.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm there every year for Rockin' Pod. So
Yeah, I'll definitely be in Rockapod now. It'll be. I've never been there. I've always promised to be there, and this time because I'll be actually living in Nashville, I kind of can't not be there.
There's no excuse
show
anymore.
up. You're right next door. That's a fact because it's
I
right
was
there
like,
at the
"Oh, I can't
fairground.
do it this week."
Yeah, Jerry lives next to there and he didn't go. I go, you
Wait,
not
what
gonna
a
go to
punk.
That's
the
because you weren't, Mark.
I stopped in his town. I stopped in Cookeville, Tennessee at the Cracker Barrel to get some lunch and hit him up. And he's like, oh, man, I'm in Murfreesboro. Dick.
I can't right now. I'm watching TV.
All right. Then we got a last minute addition, Andy Rodriguez. Where's your show out? I've been trying to share it from last night. It's not on Facebook.
I have not posted it yet. I am in the process. I've got to edit it.
Oh, you're gonna edit?
No, I just haven't posted it yet.
Okay. I didn't think your show was live. I didn't get that.
It
And then
was live. I just haven't shared it yet.
because I've been going, oh, I haven't shared Andy's show yet. And I go, it's not here.
It was a fun show last night.
It
It
was.
was an interesting one.
Yeah, Black
So
Spinner was
I
fun
will
last
share
night.
it. I've been
Uh,
trying to think of a good title for it, and I finally found one before I post it.
Nice. And then we got Joseph Staub with You Could Only Trust Yourself in the first 6 Van Halen albums shirt, which is cool.
It's
I
the great
disagree
American
with,
sentiment.
I disagree with that. I like the Hagar albums too.
We know that's why I wore this.
I can trust the first
Bushy
10.
Bushy likes the Hagar ones as well. You're not
Yeah.
alone.
He
I like
likes
half
Oh You
of
Wait
them.
Too better than
I like half of them.
Women and Children First.
Look,
Yeah.
I came ready for the theme. I got beer, barbecue, and freedom.
There you
All
go.
right. Well, let me give you the theme what we're doing tonight. We're doing our top 11 songs about America. You know, it doesn't, we're not, I was going to be patriotic, but come on, there's not that many patriotic songs unless you're in the country. And most of us aren't in the country, but Bushy is.
Well,
Bushy might
I
have
like
some
some
country
country.
songs. But I'm saying we're not like all in country.
No.
We don't want to do a whole country episode and have
No.
a few and stuff like that. And there's songs that talk crap about America, but that's what America. We got to have all these songs in here, man. It's pretty cool. There's songs about coming to America. Really cool stuff, man. But let's get into the BS, man. I'm going to start with Edwin on this one because he is a true fan of this guy. Actor Michael Madsen, known for roles Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill Volume 1, and other films, has died. He was 67 years old. Edwin.
Yeah, very sad news. It bothers me that that's the blurb. I just want to correct one thing because even though, yeah, technically he is in volume one, it's really volume two
Yes.
that is the Michael
Yeah.
Madsen movie. And that's actually my favorite role of his, playing Bud in Kill Bill 2, where that's when he's down in the trailer and has all these great scenes, and he's a very sympathetic. He's the most sympathetic character, actually, I think, in those films. He's definitely the most sympathetic villain. One of my favorite characters. Of course, I love his most famous character, Mr. Blonde in Reservoir Dogs. Not very sympathetic, quite the opposite. Mr. Blonde is a sick motherfucker, but very charming nonetheless. And, obviously most people associate him with the Tarantino movies. He did pop up in a lot of 90s movies. I like Species. I enjoyed him in that and a lot of things. But yeah, he's Tarantino's guy. He was in The Hateful Eight. He pops up in a lot of his movies. I think he's mainly known for Kill Bill and Reservoir Dogs. But I always just loved him. To me, he felt like an actor that what in a different time would have been a bigger deal. Like to me, he had that like Bronson quality and a lot of older, tougher kind of actors. And even though when he was young, he was a very handsome man. I think because he got older, he got a little stock. He was just a little too masculine, I think, overall. And they start to push all these kind of pretty boys and guys named Chris and just different kinds of actors. Whereas I think in a different time period, especially if it was like the 70s, like or 60s, I feel like a guy like Michael Madsen would have like rose to the top because he had star power, he had charisma, but he had this quiet, old school kind of masculine quality that I don't think entirely flew in the modern era of Hollywood as much, so to speak. And but I just always I always liked him and his poetry. He was also a poet, and of course, I did those two videos where I recited his poetry. I admit the first one was a little bit of a piss take. I thought it was funny, and it was something I did during the pandemic. But the second time around, I generally started to really get into his poetry, and I like, yeah, you could say like it's like second rate Charles Bukowski, but you know what? I love Charles Bukowski, so I'll take second rate Charles Bukowski. I mean, it's still good, it's still gritty, it still felt earnest. It was what he was about, and kind of expressing his machismo with words. And we just like a lot of the same shit. He liked cool music, he liked whiskey, he liked Dennis
Yeah.
Hopper, who I'm also a big fan of. So he's just a kind of guy that was a very 20th century kind of guy. And let's drink to Michael Madsen because he was the real deal.
Right on. I know it's going to take you several weeks to process this.
I'm working it out. I'm working it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's always been one of my
I know
favorite.
you're probably going to make a tribute video for him.
Well, we'll see. I mean, unfortunately, my the poetry ones didn't do so well. So yeah, not to say I'm all about numbers, but it's a lot of time to make a video. That's the
Yeah.
thing. You take a lot of time to make a video. Like I spent like 2 months doing this Miles Davis video, and it gets 200 views. Of course, this Jaws video that I spent like 2 days making has like 180,000 views. So
Yeah.
it's like maybe I shouldn't spend so much time on them. Just
The,
talk about shit people are
the,
interested.
the
in, I
anal
guess.
rhythm of YouTube is weird.
Uh,
The,
yeah,
the
but
anal
yeah,
the anal rhythms of most people are weird, Mark.
I know.
I think if you could fill a void for something that people are generally interested in, if you can kind of get into that void and people are interested in it, that's the sweet spot. That's what you're looking for. And I have a few videos that have done that, but unfortunately, the Michael Manson ones haven't. So, but at
I
least
don't think people like poetry.
yeah, maybe. I think they transcend poetry. It's kind
Yeah.
of, but
Dude, he's a drinking guy like reciting poetry. It's like, come on, man.
yeah, it's just cool shit.
He's one
It's
of
cool shit.
us,
I
you
think
know?
people would dig it. I think people would dig his poems, and I think
Yeah.
people would dig my interpretations of them. So, yeah, people should check that shit out. So there, I'll plug. If anyone's watching this, watch my Michael Madsen poetry readings. There's two of them, collection 1 and 2, which I've conveniently put together in a playlist. So all you have to do is like hit one button, and there
Yeah.
you go. They play
Hey,
back to back. Don't
hey,
have to do.
Jerry, that's the way you plug things if you're watching. Just ask. I'm just joking. But Andy, did you know Michael Madsen?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I sure did. I stopped watching movies recently because they're kind of crappy the past 5 years. But I'm very, very familiar with Michael Madsen. I'm very familiar with his roles. I thought he was a really good supporting role kind of guy. I really enjoyed him in Reservoir Dogs, and I think he was in Dawn of the. It's not Dawn of the Dead. What's the name of the one about the vampires?
From Dusk Till
But
Dawn.
I don't think he
Yeah,
was in
was
that.
he in that? Like
No,
No.
just
no,
Yeah,
no.
maybe one
Mm-mm.
of the like sequels. I don't know. I never saw the
Yeah, the
sequels.
sequels
He's
were
on the
horrible.
first one. He's on.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that he was a fine actor and what I remember him in. So,
Yeah,
was he sick for a little bit? I thought that he was sick with cancer or
Uh,
some kind of ailment.
all the details that come out. I mean, he's had his share of health issues, and
Right.
I got a sense that he had some like drinking and substance abuse issues over the
Okay.
years. He's
From
got.
what it
He
said,
has,
it was a sudden cardiac arrest.
How was
yeah.
it?
yeah,
But it might have been, from unhealthy living for so
Yeah.
long.
yeah.
But may God bless him and his family, and my condolences to him and his family.
Bushy.
yeah, he's a strange one because I kind of always him and Tom Sizemore, I always kind of confused,
Oh, I could see that.
because they very similar features, always supporting roles. I actually just watched Hateful Eight the other night. Because that's how I know him best, obviously, is the Tarantino films. Kind of a shock. He's not one of my favorite actors, but anybody that I grew up watching, it always bothers me because it just reminds us how mortal we are. And I have not taken care of myself in my 50 years. It always makes me reflect a little bit, but I can only echo Andy's sentiment, prayers to his family, friends, because 67 is not that old. That's when I lost my
No.
dad. And you expect another at least 10 years or so out of people. So it's a loss to the acting world. And man, some of those roles, I mean, Mr. Blonde, I think he was very sympathetic, but I always liked the pricks in movies. They're always my favorite characters. So yeah, just rest in peace. You said day.
Yeah.
We're not
Jo-
getting any younger, that's for sure.
Joseph.
Yeah, I mean, in the '90s especially, he was in pretty much everything. He was in The Doors. He was in Thelma and Louise. He was in all of those Quentin Tarantino movies. He was in Wyatt Earp. He played one of the brothers in
Oh,
Wyatt
the
Earp.
brother. That's right. I just watched that about a
Um,
month and a half ago. I should have remembered that.
yeah. So he was in just a ton of movies. A great supporting kind of character actor. There's those guys that just kind of fill that role. Tarantino has a ton of them that are just great character actors that don't necessarily fill the leading man kind of shoes, but whatever you ask them to do, they excel at it. And Michael Madsen was definitely one of those actors in a ton of films, and definitely one of the movies that he was in that people have been mentioning might be brought up again here in a couple of weeks on a show that we do. Uh, so I don't want to go too much in depth on that particular movie, but yeah, it's just a great career, underrated kind of character actor, and like everybody's been saying, just thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends and everyone in his life. Just great actor, gone too soon.
I just want to say, when I saw Michael Madsen in movies, I go, oh man, this is gonna rule. It's like I saw that guy's Species, like in anything he was in, I go, oh, this is gonna rule. Because the guy is like, he had like a persona that was like cool as fuck. Tom Sizemore didn't have that persona to me. I don't know how you got confused with him, but maybe because they had the same kind of looks. But the deliveries from Sizemore to Madsen was way different for me. It was like he was the cool guy smoking a cigarette, drinking a whiskey, saying "fuck you, fuck your mother, fuck everybody." I love that guy. He didn't give a shit, and that was cool. And he had a hot sister. Virginia Madsen
Yeah.
put out a cool tribute to him today, which is pretty cool, man. I remember having the hots for her.
Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah, the hot
Oh.
spot. Yeah, great film.
Oh, she's still
Dennis
pretty
Hopper.
good looking, man. She's still pretty
Oh
good
yeah,
looking.
she's a good actress too.
Yeah.
I always loved her in Candyman, and yeah, she's
Candyman.
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So, man, he's a cool dude, man. But let's get to some happy news, man. Happy 80th birthday to Deborah Harry, man. What do you guys think about that? Who wants to go?
Oh, she's 80.
She's 80.
Blondie is.
Does that
80?
make you old? Does it make you feel old?
Oh, she should change her name to Platinum Blonde. Jesus Christ.
They have a new album coming out, by the way.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Edwin?
Good for her for living so long, you know. So
Yeah.
there, she beat Michael Madsen. You know, I mean, Debbie Harry when she was younger, she was like one of the most beautiful women ever. I was big. I love Blondie, especially their early albums, like most people. But the great band, a very important figure for female rockers. You know, she's up there for like Stevie Nicks and Patti Smith and a lot of people. And she was a
Bringing hip hop up to the fucking masses.
she's actually like the first. Not just like she might be the first white artist to ever rap. It's
I
possible.
think that's one of the things.
It's very possible.
They attached to her name. Yeah.
Now you're telling me that wasn't Paul Stanley?
That was actually that's a year before that album.
Yeah.
I think a year or two. So, yeah,
a couple years before.
Yeah, it's like
Look it up,
81. I think Rapture is like 81. And so it's like coming like literally like just like a year right after Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang. So like they were like, of course, she was a hip chick living in New York City. So yeah, she was like, she had her ear, to the pavement. And so they jumped on that. So that was also innovative. But, just Blondie's just a great band, a great rock band, very eclectic. And I'm a huge fan. I've never actually talked about them in my videos, but yeah, I love Blondie. I
got that box set of demos that's really good. Really cool of them, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a very big fan, and just her whole look. I mean, everything. She transcended it because she's also like a fashion icon and she's very she transcends just the music, like and also she was in Videodrome, which is a cool movie. So give her which
Plus
James.
the movie. When I hear "Call Me," I think of American Gigolo.
Great soundtrack. I have that. I actually have that on vinyl. I have that soundtrack.
Nice.
That soundtrack. Yeah. It's great bachelor pad music.
I need to get that movie on 4K, man. I love
It's
that
a great movie. Great movie. Paul Schrader. Yeah. American Gigolo is great. It's really dark and gritty. It's the kind of film. Some of those films are like that, like Urban Cowboy and Saturday Night Fever. Like people might think they're like fluffier, kind of dancey or kind of like gay films or something. And I don't mean that in a pejorative way. I mean like literally movies about like alternative lifestyles, let's say. But they're like really dark, gritty kind of films. And the American Gigolo especially, it's like it's really dark. It's a really dark film. So yeah, I think check that out. And of course, "Call Me" is a great song, But Blondie, like for about 5 years there, they never. Then like a lot of these bands, Steve-O, Talking Heads, they're great for like the first 4 or 5 albums, and then '80s Cocaine. I guess some people might think Talking Heads were still good. I'm not as crazy about their mid to late '80s stuff.
I don't like it when they went to that one album, Naked. They lost me.
Yeah,
for me, the Talking Heads lost it after Stop Making Sense. Like that was like it was kind of like the last dance.
That was Naked. They had that one movie. What was that one movie? Wild Wild Life.
I didn't like that shit too. So I guess it's not just me. Okay, yeah, I don't like them after Speaking in Tongues. To me, the Cocaine's like, and even that album's not quite, even though it has great songs on it, that's not quite as good as all the albums.
That album, Naked, with the monkey on the cover, I bought it from Tower Records. My friend was taking me home. We were listening to it in his truck. After about 5 songs, I took it out and threw it on the train tracks. This album sucks.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I thought they got
this album.
but man, back, when the coke was working for all these people, that whole CBGB crowd, when they had that coked up energy in the late '70s, early '80s, they were part of a great wave. And of course, Blondie was like they were like the first, like they were the first to get a deal. I think the first album might predate the Ramones, I think by a couple months. I think that first Blondie album, I think they were the first band to get signed that played CBGBs. I could be wrong. But I think they were.
That sucks. They closed that thing down, man. And they got a shitty one in Vegas.
Yeah, and they were cool, and she had a cool voice, a really strong, a kind of a more powerful voice than people might realize,
Oh
especially in the
yeah.
earlier, more rocking stuff like "Rip Her to Shreds" and "Hanging on the
I got a
Telephone." And
shit ton of Blondie on vinyl over
you
here.
could really
Ramones was April of '76. The first Blondie was December of '76.
okay, so
Yeah.
so the Ramones had beat them, but they were close. They
Yeah,
were peers.
yeah.
They were
You usually associate '77 with that kind of that '77, '78 with the new wave. So Ramones and Blondie were both on the forefront of that.
yeah, they were definitely
The Cars' first album was 77, right? Or 70,
78.
78.
78, yeah.
Yeah, because
78.
Candio was '79.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love those two
yeah,
albums. Yeah.
those of course, we've talked about the
Yeah,
Cars.
we talked about those, man. Joseph, man, Blondie, man.
Yeah, I mean, basically everything that everybody's been saying so far. Blondie was on the forefront of a whole to wink wink nudge, a new wave of music. But it quite literally, they called it that for a reason, just because it was so different from everything else that was going on. Because it wasn't punk. Punk was its own thing over here, and it wasn't straightforward rock that was over here. And there was something kind of in the middle there that they really spearheaded, and they of the bands that really kind of pushed that sound forward. They're to this day probably one of the biggest selling, most well known. You still hear them on the radio all the time. They really got some of the more mainstream appeal than a lot of the other bands coming out of that same scene. You don't really hear a lot of Joy Division songs on the radio.
I know that sucks.
You don't really hear a lot of the other bands coming out
You
of that
don't
scene. But you
hear
still hear
Bauhaus. You don't.
yeah, but you
Yeah,
still hear Blondie all the time.
yeah.
And it's not just like one or two songs, it's a couple songs off pretty much every album get fairly often radio exposure to this day. And I think Debbie Harry was a big part of that. Uh, I mean, super identifiable visually, super identifiable vocally, just a great presence as a lead singer. One of my favorite female singers of all time, has a great voice, a great sound, and also had a huge hand in writing the music as well, which I
Yeah.
think really pushes her over the edge as far as um, influences in that genre, especially. I mean, especially you look at the track listing for the first album, she wrote almost the whole thing. Like
Yeah.
it was her music, and I think that especially for her to become such an icon of that scene, I mean, just an absolute legend. And happy birthday to her.
Andy, you got any more thing to say about her?
No, it just seems that she's outlived her peers,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and she's. I mean, I don't know if they're still out there trekking, but they did have a big tour not too long ago, and they were great. So, you know, happy birthday to Debbie Harry.
Bushy.
I'm I'm very casual Blondie fan. The hits, hear it on the radio, mostly in Adam Sandler movies. Uh,
Adam Sandler rules.
but I don't hate it. And yeah, 80 years, God love her, happy birthday. And if they're about to release another album, even better. I mean, if the Rolling Stones can do it, why not her?
Yeah, I agree. It's like I remember when I was a kid, I've always been attracted to blondes. My mom has always said, "Mark, you like blondes?" I go, yeah, but I had a couple blondes, now I got a brunette. But I just like seeing her on MTV back in the day. It was like sexy. Like before Madonna, she was the Madonna before Madonna. She did things that Madonna only dreamed of doing. It's like she didn't need to use sex to get her shit out. Madonna did with the bustiers and stuff like that. Debbie wore short dresses, but she didn't push her boobs up, and she didn't wear that. She didn't do like a virgin going, "Hey," I love Madonna. I don't. Those first four Madonna albums are rule for me, but I'm just saying Deborah Harry was like she was the first before even Pat Benatar. Before Pat Benatar on, and I didn't really consider Pat Benatar sexy because she had short hair, but Deborah Harry turned me on MTV.
I
As
get
a
what
little
you
kid.
say. She was very sexy without trying,
To be
without being
sexy.
trying hard about
Yeah,
it.
without trying hard to
Yeah,
be sexy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But let's give a happy birthday shout out to the legendary Phil Anselmo of Pantera.
hell
Proud of
yeah.
him. You guys got anything to say? Happy birthday, Phil?
Yeah, I just saw him a couple weeks ago, open for Metallica, and that man
Could
can
sing.
still. I mean, he was playing in front of a stadium. He could still command a
Oh
stadium.
yeah.
This guy, like he still has it. He still has it. And whether or not you consider it real Pantera or a tribute band, regardless, it's Phil up there with a fucking all-star band playing these songs really well, and he still commands the crowd.
Yeah,
He's
fuck
awesome.
yeah.
One of the best showmen I've ever seen. Very
When I
big fan of him.
when I saw them 2 years ago, I mean the whole crowd. I mean that place was sold out, and it was a
Yeah.
pretty big pavilion, and they were sold out. And he had that entire crowd in his hand. He made a movement. He said anything, the crowd wouldn't. It was they were right with him, singing along with all those amazing, great Pantera songs. And I understand people have opinions on it. I don't really. To me, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's those songs being played live in front of a great audience that wants to hear them with an, like you said, an all-star lineup of musicians. You can call it whatever you want. They're never going to put out another album under the name Pantera, so it doesn't
I
bother
don't
me.
know
They're
about
not going to.
I don't think
Charlie Benante was on a truck and he was kind of slide stepping that a little bit.
They're not gonna.
I hope not, but
They might release an album, but it's not going to be under Pantera.
They might call it Cowboys from Hell or something. I
maybe
don't know.
something like
Well,
that.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good
Like
idea.
they basically calling it Heaven and Hell.
Because
Like
he said
Yeah.
these guys that are playing with, they're having so much fun together and they would like to make new music together, but he doesn't know. And it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to hear
Here's the
some of that
thing.
music.
That's
I don't
Charlie
really care what
Benante
they call
saying it.
themselves. Yeah, I mean,
that's not Phil
I don't
Anselmo or Rex Brown saying it.
Yeah,
That's
I
Charlie
don't think it
Benante
should be
saying it.
Yeah.
called Pantera either. But regardless of what they call it, I'd like to hear those guys make a
Yeah.
record.
Oh yeah.
I would too.
Yeah.
Love to hear that. But Bushy, you got
But I'm
anything
also,
to say?
I just want to say too, I'm also a big fan of Down. I love Down.
Oh,
yeah.
I love Down.
Oh, those first
Yeah.
two Down albums.
James
are
West
amazing.
got me into Down,
I like
man.
the EPs they did a few years back. Like
I
think
don't know enough about the EPs. I haven't really listened to them that much.
they're good. They're not. I mean, the first two albums are the best, but I thought the third album was still solid, and those EPs were good.
Okay.
And I mean, I've never heard. I even like the stuff that he does with the Illegals. I think
Yeah, Phil Anselmo and the
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's like it's really crazy, like hardcore music. You can't like listen to it all the time, but if you're in the mood for shit like that, it's like you could get really into it. Like he has a certain level of quality. I've never heard shit like Phil ever be attached to something that was like bullshit or crap. Like
No.
you can tell he's that kind of guy. He's like a real straight up kind of guy. So he has certain standards. And he still sounds great. His singing, I mean, maybe not what he sounded like in the 90s, but he still sounded really good and he still has that power. And yeah, I was very impressed. I'm very impressed with that gentleman.
Andy,
all.
your Texas brother, man.
Oh yeah, well, I saw Pantera quite a bit, the original band, but I've seen Down a couple of times, and I saw Down the last time about 3 years ago, and I don't know how he is now, but man, when I saw him with Down, he sure did look clean and sober, with so much energy and delivering the music the way that I've always wanted to hear him do, and he looked great on stage. He was, they mainly did Pantera songs.
Oh, wow.
But man, he sure did deliver them with force and power and with greatness. So, happy birthday, Phil.
Bushy.
Yeah, now Pantera is one of those bands, man. I love them. And Eddie, I disagree. Anytime's a good time to rock out the Pantera. But I've admittedly been listening to a lot of liquid metal, so the metal I listen to has just gotten heavier and heavier and heavier.
I just to clarify, I meant Phil's solo thing with the Illegals.
Oh,
Pantera, you can listen to anytime. I agree with that. Yeah,
No, I haven't heard this other thing, so now my curiosity's peaked.
it's pretty
Yeah,
extreme.
happy birthday. I don't know how old he is, but what is
I
he,
don't know.
60?
So I think he's around there. I didn't look at the date.
Hey,
Well,
you're the one doing the news here, Mark.
I
Yeah.
know I fucked up.
Gotta have your facts there, buddy.
Okay, I will let
June
you-
30th.
Happy birthday,
June
I mean,
30th.
Phil Anselmo, I mean, come on. He's
Yeah,
bad.
he turned 57 on June 30th.
Okay, so he's 2 years older than me.
Good job, Joseph, for doing Mark's
Right
job.
on, Joseph. Thank you. I don't have Jerry here with me tonight, so I need somebody. But fucking Phil rules, man. I just remember when I got into Pantera, like I always tell people, In and Out got me into a lot of music, but I got in and out to fucking Pantera because I was the only one that said, "Have you heard this band? This band fucking rules. Listen to this shit." And I got my friends all into Pantera. I bought both those first albums. Well, I didn't buy Cowboys from Hell. I heard that later, but I heard Vulgar, and I heard the next album, and I go, dude, these albums fucking rule. You guys aren't listening to this shit? Because I sing them on MTV doing fucking Walk, and I went and bought that CD when I heard that song. This is fucking rules. And I went and got Cowboys for Hell later. But fucking A. Phil, thank you. And I love Down. Thank you, James West, for getting me into Down, because I didn't know about them, because I checked out music when I was watching my grandma with dementia in the 90s a little bit and later. But James West, condolences to your father, man. We love you, brother. Bushy understands that, and I know he does, man. We love you, James West, and we want you to get better, brother, because you fucking rule. But let's get to something that's kind of rock and roll related. Jimmy Swaggart passed away at the age of 90, and I'm just gonna go first. I'm only bringing him up because this guy was such a hypocrite that fucking Striper got into God because of him, and then he went off on Striper for singing God music. What do you guys think about that, Joseph?
Well,
And Miracle Man by Ozzy.
There's a great Twisted Sister song that was I think has a lot to do with what Jimmy Swaggart's doing right now. I think it's
Burning Hell.
That would be the one.
I'm not judging him. He could have changed. You never know.
He did not. He was making buku money off Christianity while being a hypocrite, and yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him. And Ozzy wrote that song Miracle Man about him too, man.
Frank Zappa wrote albums about him.
Bushy, man. Jimmy Swaggart, man.
Personally, I always like Swaggart. Yeah, televangelist and make a lot of money. And with money comes demons. So I don't judge people for that, because are any of us strong enough to deal with that kind of money?
I said I don't judge him either.
I don't know. As far as railing against Striper, when you remember the satanic panic of the 80s, it makes perfect sense, because to be playing, no matter what the lyrical content was, to be playing secular music that loud and pelting the crowd with Bibles. I remember my stepmother freaking out about that band. When I brought In God We Trust into the house, she didn't like it at all. She didn't think it was right for, the gospel to be sung about in that manner. She thought it was horrible. She'd really flip her lid with some of the stuff I'm listening to today, because, man, Convictions, they're brutal.
I've seen them live. They're amazing.
Dude, it's great stuff. It's Christian metal. And it's not metal, it's metal.
Metal. I've been in the pit at a Convictions concert.
That is awesome.
I would die in the pit right now.
But so yeah, I don't have any problem with Jimmy Swaggart. Rest in peace. Man, 90, that's a good run. That's a good run. And like I said, I mean, all these televangelists, there's too many demons surrounding you when you're trying to deliver a message and there's that much money coming in. There's not many people that stay on the straight and narrow.
Well, the thing is about Jimmy Swaggart, as a pastor, he shouldn't have been judging anybody. That's all I'm saying. He judged
everybody.
A lot
Judges.
of people.
That's the biggest cop out I've ever heard.
Hey,
everybody judges.
I don't. You like what you like.
Judge.
I don't
everybody
judge. I judge other Christians because that's what we're supposed to do. I don't judge people who don't believe.
I judge people in general. Like, if I see somebody walking down the street and they're listening to like mumble rap, I'm judging them. I don't care.
Different. That's music taste. That's different. Talking about lifestyles, man. It's different, man. But Edwin, you got anything to say about Jimmy Swaggart?
I don't know too much about Jimmy. I mean, the basic strokes. I don't really, have an issue with it. You got to make money somehow. Maybe he believed, maybe he didn't. It's not my place to judge him. I don't know him well enough. I will say this, that fucking Miracle Man song by Ozzy is a banger.
It is.
so, hey, he inspired that. So right on. Rest in peace, Jimmy Swaggart. You inspired a kick-ass Ozzy song.
Andy.
I've really got nothing to say about him.
All right, man. I wish Send Me Your Money was about him, but it was about Jim and Timothy Baker.
I get those
who were much worse, if you ask me.
I agree with you. They were much worse. They're much worse. I think Jim Baker renounced God.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think he did. He wanted the money. But do you guys ever watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. Love it.
Okay,
I've seen some of them.
you know Rob McElhenney?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's close enough.
He created the show. He's
Yeah,
defending
he plays Mac on the
he
show.
plays Mac. He's
Yeah.
defending his decision to change his name to Rob Mac, while also admitting it's kind of douchey. Yes, I'm shortening my name to Rob Mac, mostly a stage name, but I digress. It's kind of douchey, sure, but the amount of time that I have wasted trying to get people to either spell my name or say it correctly is days of my life. What do you guys think about that?
It's a little
Like I
late.
just said his name
I
wrong.
think it's. I don't disagree with him. I just think he's like doing it like maybe 10 years too late. Like who gives a shit at this point? I mean, dude's in his, he's like our age. He's older, and the show's
Yeah,
been on
it's
for
been
like
going
over
on for
10
like
years.
20 years.
It's
Love
like
that
he's not
fucking
gonna
show.
he's not gonna break out into something else. He's Mac from Always Sunny. That's how people think of him. So
But
Yeah.
do you know that FX wanted him to bring on Danny DeVito? So we don't need Danny DeVito. We don't need him. We're fine on our own. He said, "Well, if
but
you
yeah,
don't
the first season.
if
But
you
yeah,
don't if you don't
Well, the
bring
first
in
season sucked, so
he said if you don't bring in Danny DeVito for the second season, we're gonna cancel you guys." And he brought him in. He says it's the best thing they ever made him do.
oh yeah. Sometimes you gotta listen to the suits. They're not.
Oh, yeah.
They get a bad rep, but sometimes the suits know what
that's one of the few shows that I will never recommend starting with the first season.
No,
Yeah, there's a few good episodes, but it definitely
There
when
are, but
they-
it's not what the show would become.
yeah, when
No.
DeVito joined the cast, it forced it. Not only did he bring something to the show himself, being so great, he forced them all to step up. You see the way they act and their characters become so much
Yeah.
funnier because they all have to like bring their A game because they're interacting with Danny DeVito, and it's immediate. Like second season, that's when everything clicks.
fuck yeah.
And yeah.
Have
Great
you
show
seen-
though. I
have you
don't
seen-
think in the last couple seasons there's occasionally a great episode here and there, but not as consistent. But I would say if like season 2 to maybe season 5 or 6, they had a pretty good block there where every episode was really great and really funny. And so and I'm from Philly originally, so of course I love the show. And yeah, so it's a great show. But Rob Mack, I don't know, it seems kind of silly.
You said douchey.
He made a little video about it, and I understand why. Because I mean, it's with business deals and stuff like that. It's kind of hard with like, especially like now that he's branching out because he has that soccer team with Ryan Reynolds. They have that show about that.
The video
he has-
games.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he has so
I
much
love
different
that show.
stuff going on.
Mythic Quest.
To me, that makes him sound douchier than things.
I mean,
I love Mythic Quest. That's a good show.
I get where he's coming from.
He should just make Always Sunny. Stop trying to be a big shot.
Well, Mythic Quest is pretty good though. But
I mean,
Andy,
now
make his show.
now
He's always
Caitlin
trying to do
Olsen's in
other
like
things.
5 different shows at the same time.
oh, I
so
like
it's
her
like-
new show. It's really good.
Yeah, her new show is actually pretty funny.
really good.
I
Hey,
know that they're always trying to break away from Always Sunny. Those
hey,
bastards.
Andy, you know anything about Always Sunny?
Oh yeah, I've seen the first 3 seasons. After that, I kind of tailed off, and I really don't care about him changing his name to shortening his name. Whatever he wants to do is fine. But like Edwin was saying, he's already been, a big star with his name already. So it's not like, it's going to be a shocker. But
It's gonna make
Whatever
me
you
think of that stupid movie Mac and Me. But Bushy, what do you think about it?
I don't care. I don't watch the show. I'm not really sure who we're talking about.
You like
I'm more
Danny
concerned
DeVito,
here
don't
that,
you?
I'm more concerned. I just see right here that Kenneth Cawley died.
Oh, yeah.
AJ-7. He played Admiral Piet in the Star Wars
I
film.
almost put that in the
And
notes.
you might also know him from Life of Brian. He played Jesus. So I'm actually
Yes.
more concerned with that than this knuckle
I'm
nuts.
glad you brought him up
Always Sunny.
because I almost put him in the notes.
So yeah, that one bothers me a little more.
Don't
Don't fail me, Admiral Piet. I mean, that's way more cool.
aren't you a
than
aren't you a
guy.
Danny DeVito fan?
No,
Oh, you're not. That makes
no,
sense.
I don't care about
All
Oompa
right.
Loompa. I liked him in Twins. I didn't even like Taxi.
You didn't like him in
Taxi
War
was
of the
so
Roses?
great. No, I didn't like that. I didn't like Romancing the Stone.
I love all
I'm
those
just
movies.
not a big DeVito fan.
I like Twin Taxi. I didn't care for
Wait.
Twin.
All right.
He played a good penguin.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
did.
Yeah.
So, You guys know about the sequel to This is Spinal Tap, right? Follows the
Yes.
band
Yeah.
members as they're
Yeah.
forced to play with each other after 15 years of not playing or speaking to each other, says Rob Reiner. We indicate there's bad blood. What do you think about that, Edwin?
I mean, this is Spinal Tap. The original is like one of the funniest movies of all time. I love it. It's great. I used to have like, yeah, I even had like the Break Like the Wind album and stuff. I was a big fan. Not half as good as the Smell like
Smell, yeah,
Smell the Glove,
smell
which
the
is
glove.
the soundtrack to the movie. Um, it's it, like it could be funny in theory because we do have all these old legacy acts like still
Uh,
playing. Like, and I
Especially all these bands where you know they only got back together for the money.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
just for the
Like
money. I mean, like and
they
look,
all
look,
hate each other.
like so it's not like there's definitely some satire there. If they actually in the same way they weren't trying to be so broad with the first one. Like the reason why so many people in the heavy metal and hard rock community love Spinal Tap because it was really
real.
like they did their research. You know, you could tell they were like rock fans and they knew what was going on and they knew how to make it funny. But I mean, these guys have been like, you know, I don't know if they're still kind of hip to all that now. We'll see. I mean, I'll give them. I hope that it does a really good. It's a really good satirical send up of older acts still trying to hang on there and doing it for the money, and it could be really funny if they are still smart and sharp about it. I don't know, but it's been so long that people lose their edge as they get older. You don't know. I
Well,
mean,
as long as they don't try to make it safe.
well, that's the thing. If it still
Are they
has
going to make it safe?
still
Because we
fight.
know Rob Reiner is a douche. I'm just saying
Yeah, yeah,
that.
but he could be funny still. Rob Reiner, I've
He
seen him
can,
in
he
interviews.
can, but
He was
he's Mr.
hilarious. I
He's
know he didn't
safe.
write the stuff, but he's hilarious in The Wolf of Wall Street. I love
Yeah.
that scene where he's telling them about what they're
Yeah.
but the money they're
I
spending.
just don't want it to be safe. I want it to be like the
I
original.
agree.
I don't want it to be like, let's make sure we don't hurt people's feelings
Yeah,
shit.
all safe and PC. I mean,
Yeah.
they have an opportunity to kind of make fun of that.
Yes.
So we'll see. Like, I don't know. That's the question. Is this going to be a safe, boring PC Spinal Tap, or is this going to do the same thing now that they did back like in
It's like
1980?
the History of the World Part 1 television series was horrible. It was safe and PC. I didn't like it. It was
Yeah, I've seen
dumb.
some Christopher Guest's stuff's a little hit and miss for me afterwards. Some of the stuff is good,
Come
but
on, dog
you know,
shit.
but not nearly as good as Spinal Tap. Actually, I don't think anyone involved in that movie did anything as good as Spinal
Well,
Tap.
Michael
Yeah.
McKean was in Better Call Saul. That was
Oh,
funny.
well, okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're counting that, Michael
Yeah.
McKean was great, and he was great on that. So yeah, as
Yeah.
he's the most talented of
Oh,
the in
yeah.
terms of, as an actor. So we'll see. I'm holding out hope because I love the first movie so much. I'd like to see. I saw one little bit that they showed a preview of where it was kind of funny. They were talking about why they don't like jazz music, which was kind of funny about how the jazz musicians were playing the notes wrong. And that had a little like again it was like inside baseball stuff, but that's the kind of humor I want to see. I want to see Spinal Tap also make musical jokes too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the thing that the first one
Because
did.
what I loved about the first movie, it was very dry humor, and if you knew what they were talking about,
Yeah.
it was funny. Like
Although there was one part of the joke that bothered me because then I was thinking, well, are they forgetting that they did their jazz fusion period where
Mhm.
the Jazz Odyssey?
Yeah.
I was like you guys were a jazz band for like one show.
and then the drummer blew up.
Of course, the drummer. You got anything to say about that, Joseph, real quick?
Yeah, I mean, if it's anywhere nearly as good as the first movie, I'm looking forward to it. I just hope that they retain a lot, like I was saying, retain a lot of the same kind of like not too much inside baseball, but like jokes for people that know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, one of my favorite. I think everyone always quotes the "it goes up to 11," but people don't
That's what we
understand
do
that the
here.
reason the people don't understand that the reason that that's so funny is because they're not making it a joke. Like he's just saying it.
Serious. Yeah.
Well, this one goes to 11. He's dead, like fully serious about it, and like you're like, okay, he fully believes that that's why it's better than an amp that just goes up to 10 but louder. Well, this one goes to 11, and I think that if you keep that kind of thing and like like everyone was saying with the jazz joke about they're playing the notes wrong. Like that is a similar kind of concept, and I really hope that they keep that sort of humor in the movie.
Andy.
I'm a big fan of the first one, which kind of makes me hesitant to want to watch the second one, or I'm kind of bummed that they've been making a second one. So, you know, I probably won't watch the second one.
Bushy.
I half agree with Andy actually. Because I really love the first one. There's so many great scenes in that. And my favorite happens to be when they can't find their way to the stage. I think that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So I'm a little apprehensive. All these years later, is it a money grab? I feel kind of the same way about Spaceballs too.
Me too.
Even though I'm excited Rick Moranis is coming out of retirement.
And Ghostbuster fans are like, fuck.
But for all these years later, the culture we live in today, a lot of these movies, I don't know if they're going to work.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I don't know if Spaceballs can work today. Are we going to get the great jokes like I bet she gives great helmet? Obviously not. With Spinal Tap, man, I don't know. Maybe they could thread the needle. I mean, I'm not a Reiner fan either, but he's not stupid. I'm hoping.
He knows what's going on.
Huh?
I said Reiner's not stupid. He knows what's going on out there. He knows how to write or knows how to get around things.
If he could thread the needle, and still dance on that line,
right?
It may be worth the watch. Will I go to the theater? No,
I will.
But I'll probably buy it on Vudu or something and watch it because then I'll just have it. But I'm a little apprehensive. Nothing's ever going to be as great as Bill and Ted Face the Music anyway. As far as
I love that movie.
Out of all these sequels that have come out years later,
hey,
is my favorite.
Top Gun Maverick was awesome.
Yeah, I like
kind of movie, but yeah,
Maverick actually had a better story than the first one.
It's better than the first one to me.
First one's really just a montage. I mean,
the first one, the second one was way better.
Yeah, the first one's a montage with Kenny Loggins soundtrack.
Yeah, the second one actually has a story. So,
all right, so did you guys hear Chuck E. Cheese is gonna make a fucking adult arcade for adults?
So does that mean
David
adult as in not children, or adult as in?
It's going to be an adult thing with arcades, with Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, newer video games.
Dave and Buster's.
I hope the pizza is better than Chuck E. Cheese. But what do you guys think about that?
That they're going to have topless waitresses.
That'd be cool.
You know who's not interested in this at all? Fucking pedos. Pedos are like Chuck E. Cheese without the kids. Fuck
my god!
And we just went there
for that shit.
I didn't go there.
Man, times are changing. It's getting too peachy around here.
Good night, everybody.
Oh my god, they're gonna have retro. It's gonna be called Chuck's Arcade, by the way.
Stupid.
Chuck's Arcade.
Stupid. First of all, Chuck E. Cheese is the most miserable place on the face of the planet anyway.
Oh, yeah, and they're gonna have the animatronics there.
That's why they sell beer, because the pizza's horrible. You have 4,000 screaming brats running around, spilling crap all over you. You're
playing
somebody's food. It's the most miserable experience in the world. Their pizza is top-notch garbage.
Yep.
I will not grace this with my presence at all.
But
I don't like video games enough anyway to go spend these outrageous.
But they're going to have the animatronic concert,
and they suck too. Let me tell you something. Even as a kid, I thought Chuck E. Cheese sucked.
It did. I agreed.
Because we had Showbiz Pizza Place.
Showbiz Pizza
Place.
Obviously
superior. Obviously vastly superior.
Yes. Yes, it was great. You could go in and watch the band play, the animatronic band. Showbiz was
better.
The band better.
Much better animatronics, better video games. The pizza was shitty, but slightly better shitty pizza than the Chuck E. Cheese shitty pizza.
Yeah. I've never even set foot in a Dave and Buster's. I'm not that big on video games. I'm certainly not going to go pay overpriced for
What do you mean you're not
pizza.
big at video games? You got a fucking PlayStation whatever playing shit all the time.
Yeah, I play Call of Duty Black Ops 6. That's all I ever play. I'm on there for 30 minutes and I'm off again 3 times a week.
That's pretty
Not a gamer.
casual.
Any of you guys got anything to say about Chuck's Arcade?
Oh,
No,
well, yeah, they already have adult arcades all over the place over here with all arcade games, and it's $15 to play unlimited.
All right,
And
so then we
open
get
bar with that too.
then we
Well,
get
not
to
open bar, but they have a bar.
then we
So
get to Joe.
okay.
Then we get to Joe Perry on Aerosmith Play Game. We're talking about it. We're alive and well. You know, we'll just have to see. What do you guys think about that?
That can't happen.
No.
It's wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. They fucked up. I'm mad at Aerosmith. They should have ended with Joey Kramer. They could have ended with the first 5 guys. They had the opportunity to do it, and they got fucking greedy. Tried to do it a little bit more and then look what happened. Steven's voice, cuts out, and to me, it's karma. Now, I love Aerosmith, but they deserve what happened to them. I feel bad for the fans that spent a lot of money to go see their show. Ryan T. Russell got lucky. He was actually one of the few ones that got to see that fucking last concert before they canceled it. But to me, it was a shitty thing to do without Joey Kramer. They should have wrapped up. They had the opportunity because there's not that many bands with the original 5 guys. They could have really gone out in a cool way, and they got great. Plus, the last couple albums sucked.
Yeah.
And Steven Tyler started to, got all,
country.
Yeah, and America Got Talent or whatever that show's called, American Idol, whatever. And listen, they were one of the greatest fucking American rock and roll bands of all time. And it was sad what they kind of turned into at the end. I will always love Aerosmith. They're one of the first bands that got me into music. I've done a lot of videos about them, but just give up. Stop. Don't make any new music. I don't want to hear any new shitty music from Aerosmith. Just stop it. Just re-release some good shit. I want to hear some Night in the Ruts demos or something, or some old live concerts from the 70s. Release that shit. Release
They're
some
one of the only
release
bands that haven't
demo.
really done raided the vaults for all these live shows and stuff.
Well, he did that one. That one they did was great. I have it over here somewhere. What was that album, man?
I don't know. Here's what I can say about Aerosmith. I was done with them after Get a Grip. And even that album wasn't great. It was way too ballad heavy. I still stand by the last great Aerosmith album was Pump.
Yes.
Yeah, Pump rules.
The last good Aerosmith album was Get a Grip. After that, everything was Don't Want to Miss a Thing, just over and over. I don't need to hear it anymore.
Yeah.
Get rid of Joey Kramer. Bad move, classless act. I don't care. We have those great 70s and 80s albums into the early 90s. I'm okay with, but let it be, man. Let Sleeping Dogs lie.
The Road Starts Here was a great Vault album. They need to do more of those. That's
they need to do a lot more. There's so many great things they could release from the 70s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because they're like one of those bands where they only have one live album out from the entire 70s. Because there's the classics live shit doesn't count. Those things are awful. No. It's mostly 80s recordings without Joe Perry and without Whitford. I
actually like the Jimmy Crispo stuff, but
I do too.
Yeah.
But the live stuff
I agree. They definitely
they
have so many great shows they can release. Old cool videos like Texas Jam and stuff like that from the 70s. And again, Vault stuff, remember that great box set, one of the best box sets ever, Pandora's box.
Pandora's box.
I have that somewhere.
There's a lot of cool shit that they could I'm sure there's all kinds of shit like that they can release. So just go back to your past, because your present, what hasn't been good for over 20 years, you know?
Long time.
I agree with Bushy though. Get a Grip. It was their last okay album. The way I always describe it, Crying was great. Crazy was not. Amazing is just one too far.
Oh, I love Amazing.
I haven't listened to it in a while. I actually think 9 Lives is a little bit better than Get a Grip.
I love 9 Lives.
I think
there's some good stuff on 9 Lives.
Taste of India, man.
Ooh, I like 9 Lives. It's not perfect. It does have my least favorite Aerosmith song, Pink. I hate that fucking song.
Oh god, that's god awful.
God awful.
Yeah.
But everything else is actually not bad on that album, and I think it's a little more consistent to Get a Grip. But after that, fuck them. Like that,
I don't know if for me, I don't know if anything on Nine Lives is good. Living on the Edge is one of my favorite songs from.
Living on the Edge.
The high points of Get a Grip.
There's a lot of good stuff on
the high points of Get a Grip are better than Nine Lives. I will say that. I like Fever is better than anything.
Fever too. Garth Brooks does a great version of Fever.
Yeah, the title track's good. Get a Grip does have better songs than Nine Lives, but I'm just saying I think it's a little more consistent.
Oh, I'd agree.
Nine Lives is my last album that I like by Aerosmith.
But I think we can all agree Pump was their last
great album.
Amazing album.
Great album.
Pump's their last great album, definitely.
And it was a huge step up from Permanent Vacation.
I like
Permanent Vacation. But you're absolutely right.
I do like Permanent Vacation, but I think Pump's better. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, there's some great songs on Permanent Vacation, but as an album, Pump is just.
No, I agree with you.
Pump. They had no right making something as good as Pump in that point in their career.
That's
Pump was
fact.
awesome.
That's just I just had to review that on another podcast.
Voodoo Medicine Man.
Really bad.
But that's the thing. The deep tracks are all strong. It's
Voodoo Medicine Man.
Voodoo Medicine Man. FINE5.
That's so good.
Monkey on My Back.
It sounds like old Aerosmith on that album.
It sounds like 70s Aerosmith with late 80s production.
Great production, yeah.
And I'm one of the few people on planet Earth that even loves all the singles. Like I even
love
like
What It Takes.
What It Takes is one of their best albums.
It's okay, but it's not my favorite.
There's not a bad track on that album.
I agree with that.
Pump's
What It Takes is one of my favorite ballads by them, easily.
Yeah, What It Takes is easily one of their best ballads.
I love What It Takes.
All right,
but the last good
we're
album,
just going to gush about Pump for like 20 minutes.
I'm fine with that.
We can all agree on.
Yeah, we all love Pump. But hey, that must mean it's a great album. It's
absolutely.
But Pump was released in 89. 1989, dude.
That's the last new Aerosmith album I bought. That was the first album I bought in the first tour.
That's what, 36 years ago? Thanks. I needed that.
I saw Permanent Vacation and Pump Tour. I didn't see them after that.
I've never gotten to see them. My parents saw them.
School, Andy, I appreciate that, brother.
My parents saw them in 03 on the co-headlining tour with Kiss, and
that's like Joseph, because you're a baby. You're
I am. I'm 26. I've never gotten to see Aerosmith.
Listen to Junior over. You don't even get a vote. Just hush.
All right, I got three more.
He does
stories.
good though. He rolls with us old timers. Good.
Yeah. No, I've told this story before. My parents saw Aerosmith on the co-headlining tour with Kiss in 03.
Are your parents younger than us? How old?
No, my parents are both 60.
Okay,
I'm 54.
Right. As long as your parents are older than us, you can
handle. Yes. Yeah. No, my dad saw Journey on the Frontiers tour.
He's really old.
He was at my dad was at it was JFK Stadium in Philadelphia. They filmed the show. It was JFK Stadium in Philadelphia on the Frontiers tour. They filmed it. That whole show is on YouTube. That was where they filmed the Sender My Love music video at that show.
It's really cool.
But he saw. I mean, my dad saw all kinds of stuff. When back in Harrisburg in 1982, I think it was, Ted Nugent on the Nugent tour with Kix and Crocus were the opening bands.
Oh, good bands.
See, that's a perfect age. It's like Ralph Vieira. Like he's when you're like 59 or 60, like that's the sweet
Ralph Vieira fucking hit the perfect age.
He knows it. He loves it.
Ralph is
a badge of pride.
He's a bad motherfucker.
He hit all the best. It was the best time period to see.
All those shows he saw.
My dad didn't get to see nearly as many shows as Ralph did. My dad is a year and 2 days older than Ralph.
Hey man, but I got three more stories. Let's get to this.
Let's get through them so we can get to these goddamn American songs.
Let's get the Green Day invite a fan to play Good Riddance. Eject him when he starts playing Wonderwall instead.
Okay, all I gotta say is I do like Wonderwall, but Green Day sucks, so fuck them. Next,
see, I like Green Day, so
my god, that's because that was 26.
Yeah,
but I thought that was funny as shit.
I saw them live last year; they were great. They put on a great show. But it was kind of a dick move. I saw them like, really, dude, like, come on, like this kid's like making a joke and just
Wonderwall.
Yeah.
How can you get those
That-
two mixed up? One's a great song and the other one's just blah. Because
Fair.
I love
Good Riddance is amazing.
Good
love
Riddance
that
is
song.
amazing. Wonderwall sucks.
What's the other song?
Oh God,
Good
why are we
Riddance.
talking about this crappy band?
No, but I'm saying
she's
Green,
talking about
Green
Green
Day.
Day.
Green Day invited a fan to sing Good Riddance, and a guy started singing Wonderwall. He checked it from the show.
Look, I'm not a huge Green Day fan, but if I was Billy Joe Armstrong, I would have smashed him in the head with my guitar.
Yeah.
I
like
funny.
it.
I don't know. I don't understand this Oasis love and people acting like they're just so great.
Speaking of, their first show is tomorrow night.
Ah, fuck.
I can't wait to miss
What's
it.
happening? They fucking talked about it so long ago.
Oh, people, and by people, we all know I'm talking about one person.
Yeah,
Are going
that
crazy
dude.
like about how everybody's talking about the Black Sabbath show on Saturday. Well, they're not the only show playing in England that day because Oasis
Is that
playing
dude
in England.
actually saying that?
Yes.
Oh
Give me
my
a
God.
freaking
Why are you
break.
still friends with that idiot? I'm just saying.
Give me a
I don't
freaking-
know.
Look, I'm admittedly still friends with him too, but I don't understand the Oasis love.
I don't understand
Man.
it either.
Has tried to send me, hey, maybe you'll like this, and it's like, no, you don't understand.
You know,
This is god awful. That dude's voice. I would rather listen to Geddy Lee for
thank
6
you.
hours
Thank you.
on constant repeat.
Thank
and
you.
His voice either than have to listen to those Gallagher schmucks.
Hey,
Ever.
I
It's just
seen
garbage.
Liam open for the Who at the Hollywood Bowl, and about after 5 songs, I was going, "Get the Who on." I'm done with you, dude. Get the Who on.
I do love "Don't Look Back in Anger." That's a great song.
Yeah,
but other than that,
I will say Oasis has some great songs, but I can't listen to a complete album without turning it off.
I don't even think they have great songs. It's just
They
great.
do have some great songs. They do have some great. I like "Don't Look Back in Anger." I love one. I don't like Wonderwall that much, but let's get to the last story because this is funny. More motorists in California found with open container 70 empty Bud Light cans, and he was swerving all over the road. Bud Light, you're weak. And I saw the comments on
so
this.
Wait, you said 70, so that
70?
equals what? About
70?
5 beers.
That's about what it would take.
That equals about 5 beers.
Yeah,
No,
Bud
that's
Light,
a lot,
right?
dude. You realize when it comes to these light beers, the alcohol content's the same as the carbs that are down.
Yeah.
70, I don't care. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Well,
So
some
he
people in the comments
so he
called him a
drank about
pussy.
5 of these.
Call him pussy.
He just, obviously he's not into taste. He's not like drinking.
Yeah.
beer for
Well, like
taste.
Jerry likes Michelob Ultra. Yeah.
No
Hey,
thanks.
but look, that man
I'll
has
pass.
lost a lot of weight. He looks great.
He has lost a lot of weight, and I give him props, and I love the guy. I get on his ass because I want to fire him up because he gets lazy sometimes, and he knows it, and he's done some shit because I got on his ass, and I love him. He's a great guy. But let's get to our songs, America. Let's start with you, Joseph. What's your number 11, man?
All right. So I don't really have these ranked in any particular order. I'm just going to kind of
Same.
I
I've
have-
only got my number 1 and 2 that are
I
definitely.
have just a list of songs here, and what I'm going to do is just
You guys are old school. You've like got writing on.
oh yeah.
paper.
So just like I'm
Yes,
just going to
we still
talk
use
about
those
songs.
old skills, brother.
Yes,
Wow.
I can write in cursive, which a lot of kids these days can't.
Wow.
I can.
Because I had to learn that because I went to Catholic school. I'm
Your
just going to kind
knuckles
of
depended on it, right?
oh yeah, because I still had nuns. I still had
Yes.
nuns.
You know what? You have none of that. None.
Yeah, nope. So what I'm gonna kind of do is here. Of course, since I'm starting out, I'll pick a song. But what I'm gonna kind of do is just songs that people haven't mentioned yet. So if somebody mentions a song, I'm just gonna cross it off my list.
I
Just
try
kind
to
of
do-
talk about different songs here.
I got 2 lists from Scribble and Jerry, and I took a lot of songs off because they mentioned the same songs I was singing. I hope I fixed my list. So
Because Jerry would kill me if I don't mention this because we are, the co-hosts of a Styx podcast.
he has 2 stick songs, by the way.
I will mention one of them because I know both of the ones that he has on his list. But I'm going to start out with one of my absolute favorite Styx songs sung by the great J.Y. James Young, and that is Miss America. The whole Grand Illusion album is kind of talking about their experiences of the bicentennial in 1976. That album came out in 77. They're kind of talking about the fading American dream, almost the grand illusion of fame and fortune. And this song is part of that, kind of talking about was this celebrity everything you'd expect it would be in America, kind of the cult of personality a little bit around celebrities in America. So great song, one of my favorites. They always play it live. That is Miss America.
All right, Edwin.
Okay, because I'm illiterate. I didn't even write notes. What I did is I made a playlist and I took a screenshot of the playlist. So I'm looking at a picture.
You are not illiterate. You're one of the best writers I've ever.
Well, that's what. Thank you, I appreciate that. But that's like what I do during the day. It's like my day job. So when I'm done work, it's like I don't want to have to write.
You're like, duh.
Yeah, I used it all during the day. Like now I'm like fucking done. So now it's just like I just want to do pictures and like blow up the picture with my finger so I don't have to think. But I do, unlike Joseph, I do have this is an order. This is an order. So we are working to what I think is the greatest American song. I just want to. I'm not gonna get too long-winded here, as I do sometimes. I'm just saying that it's my criterion was that they were songs explicitly about America. Couldn't just be a metaphor about America, because there's so many fucking songs that are metaphors about America. I like, no, they gotta be literally talking about America, and like overall, it couldn't just be just one thing. Like, no American Girl on my thing, only because I want it to be about lots of people, not just one person.
I tried to do that too.
Yeah. So this was because there's so many fucking songs about America.
Yeah.
I realized this when I went through my iTunes. I was like, oh shit, there's a lot. I gotta be very selective here. So those are my criterions. Generally, I went with American artists, but there's one exception.
I went with some English artists.
I got one, for reasons I'll explain. But anyway,
I've only got one myself.
yeah, yeah.
I have a couple.
I'm looking. Yeah, I think I just got one. Yeah, I just got one. Yeah, just one. Anyway, so for the most part, these are American artists singing about America and America overall. Okay, and they're songs I like, songs I love actually. That's hence why they made the top 11. So we start off with a great song to kick it off. Chuck Berry, Back in the USA.
Right on.
Great rock and fun song. One of my favorite Chuck Berry songs, actually. It's got a little bluesier soul quality to it, even though it still has the basic kind of Johnny Be Good style Chuck Berry riff. But there's some piano, some nice backing vocals, and it's just him singing about how he's back in after like touring around the world. He's back in America, and he loves it. He loves it. He loves the hamburgers and the pretty girls and the culture, and it's like a cool rockin' place to be, and it's a very optimistic song, kind of a bookend to my number one choice actually. So I see this as positive. Now I do have like one or two songs that could be seen as being critical of America to a degree, but I thought that should be part of the conversation as well, because America is about freedom of speech and people have different points of views.
I got a lot of songs about that.
Yeah, so I did that too, but for the most part, I'd say my list is fairly positive. But Back in the USA, very positive song by a great American artist, Chuck Berry, man who bridged rock and roll and country, kind of similar to what Elvis did. Yeah. Doesn't really get mentioned enough, I think, in that regard. But Chuck Berry, great American artist, one of my favorite, guitarists and singers ever. And Back in the USA, kicks ass. I love it. And of course, it had to be on my list.
Andy.
Yeah, all my songs have the word America in the title. So that was my criteria. And I only had a day to put this together. So excuse me.
You were the last minute addition.
Yeah, that's why.
Fuck you, Andy.
So I am going to go with a English band, Def Leppard, with Hello America.
Great one. I should have picked that one too.
On their first album, and
Nice.
it was kind of their introductory to the American music scene at that time, and bridging over the heavy metal of British, the new wave of British heavy metal. So I put that in there.
Nice. Bushy.
We're on what, number 11?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My criteria was based on what Mark first messaged me asking, and that was patriotic songs. I kind of took that to heart. My number 11 is one that's very divisive. I would think that people that like it only think a certain way. I'm probably one of those people. I apologize for that ahead of time. No, I don't really. You know, I'm still a good guy.
You know, you don't apologize.
But this was such a middle finger to what was going on in the country just a short time ago. Kid Rock, We the People. You can't deny it's not a patriotic song. It's a finger to the establishment. It's like, look, we run this crap, not you. I love it. A lot of my songs are going to be patriotic in that vein. And a lot of them have to do with the military. A lot of them are country. I'm a veteran and I'm a patriot. So that's the way I went throughout this whole list. But yeah, Kid Rock, even though it's a divisive tune, I thought it deserved to be on the list every bit as much as something like CCR's
Fortunate
Son, or, you
I
know,
almost picked that.
There's a lot of songs out there that are really critical of America. You know, Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA. Everyone think that's a pro-USA song. It's actually not a pro-USA song.
Nope.
It's really a protest song. I think it definitely has its place. I didn't go that route on this list, though. Yeah, Kid Rock, We the People.
All right. Joseph.
Did you go with yours yet?
No, I'm going to go last because I got two.
I already did mine.
So I'll go with mine then.
Lord, he's already drunk.
He's already there.
We're only at 11, Mark, and it's already a shit show.
It's America. I'm going to go with Star Spangled Banner, Jimi Hendrix, instrumental.
I guess that's a song.
Oh, it is a song. It's amazing. Amazing.
It's a great guitar solo.
It's a great guitar solo, but it's a Star Spangled Banner, man.
Okay, I guess it transcends. It transcends. It means something.
All right, where is my other bitches here? God dang it. What did I do with Scribble and shit? Oh, here it is.
Did you just call them your bitches?
My bitches. They are my bitches.
You meant it.
Jerry,
to get to you and slap you. You know that, right?
Those Jerry picks. Don't Stop Believing by Journey because they're talking about a small town girl living in a lonely world.
I think so. Yeah.
He talks about Americana. Talks about Americana, and that's a great pick. I almost picked that, but I saw his list, so I changed mine. And Scribble, he picks Night Ranger, You Could Still Rock in America, which I had on my list. I took it off because these bitches have these songs on this, and I changed it. So then we're gonna go back to who we're at now. Edwin?
Joseph.
Did you do yours next, Mark?
I did.
He did his already.
Oh, did you?
Joseph.
Okay.
So go ahead, Joseph.
Okay. So my next pick, in 1974, a glam rock alien from the planet Mars, who had recently been living in Apocalyptic City, got really influenced by the Philly soul sound, and decided to write an album based around the Philly soul sound. And he called that album, and he called that album Young Americans. And so that is my next pick, is the great track Young Americans by David Bowie.
Great too.
One of my favorite David Bowie songs, in all honesty. Just a really cool, soulful track. You could tell that he really, truly loved that style of music and really wanted to do it justice. And yeah, I think he just does a great job. So yeah, that is my number 10 is David Bowie's Young Americans.
Eddie.
Okay, it's a little complicated, but okay, it's the MC5 out of Detroit, Michigan. A lot of great bands that came out of Michigan. Very American, very American town. Fucking Motor City. They used to make cars. It was great. Industry should be in America. Anyway, I'm sure Bushy agrees with that.
Sir.
Anyway, so this album, this song came from is actually called Back in the USA. And the last song on the album was a cover of the Chuck Berry song I just talked about, Back in the USA. But that's not the song I'm talking about, because that cover is good, but it's not as good as the Chuck Berry one. I'm talking about another song on that album called The American Ruse. Now, The American Ruse is a highly critical song about America, but written by real American rock and rollers, and it has a kind of Chuck Berry kind of proto-punk sound to it. And keep in mind, this is also at a time, like all I'm gonna say, I don't want to get too political here, but the protest in the late 60s, early 70s was because there was an actual draft going on. You know, there's a difference between people who enlist and choose to serve their country and fight for their country, and a difference between grabbing people and forcing them to do it. You know, totally different time period and what people were fighting for then. So regardless of what your politics are, I think it's safe to say that the protest of, and also this is a time period where there still were not a lot of rights that people have, which people now have and take for granted, that they didn't have in those days. There were a lot of really important things that people, young people, were fighting about. So this song, this protest song, is a song that to me is about what America's about. You know, it started off, it was a revolution, people fighting for things, having that voice. This is a song that would not be allowed in other countries, but it was allowed in America, and that's rock and roll. And to me, it has the spirit of rock and roll and the spirit of what protest at its best should be about. And if you can do it and make it a snappy, fun song at the same time, which they mattered also, you know, managed to do, and with a sense of humor at the same time, great little tune. I love it. The American Ruse. It's real American revolutionary rock and roll. There you go.
Good one. Very good
Andy.
one. Yeah, mine is Joseph picked this last week for songs of 1975, and that is Kansas Song for America.
Nice.
And we'll cross that one off the list.
A great album.
Do we have to? I'm just saying, do we have to
Kansas.
get rid of songs if someone else said
No,
it?
I am, just so I can mention as many different songs as
Yeah.
possible.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
what I
ain't
like
doing-
also.
I don't mind having repetition.
Yeah.
If I end up crossing off too many songs, then yeah, there could be some repetition. But
That's a good song. Like it.
yeah.
Yes,
All right,
it
I
is.
dig me some Kansas. I like that.
All right, my number 10. I remember it specifically off the Hank Williams Jr. album called America the Way I See It. That's not the album it was originally on. That was a compilation album. But man, this song is just tough. It's just tough, especially if you're like a pro two-way guy, and with the legal system and how lawyers could twist the law to get criminals off. Talking about the song I Got Rights. And it's when Hank's talking about a lawyer got this guy off that had killed his wife and son. And there's this
OJ?
line in here where he's talking about after the trial, he had the nerve to say that's the way it goes. And Hank says, well, Hoss, you better get you some corks because you're going to have to plug up a few holes. And it's basically about him taking his vengeance out on this guy. You know, because I got rights too. And this time there won't be no damn lawyers and systems to protect you. I think it's a tough song. I think it's very Old West America. I absolutely love it. Gets me in the feels. And as a two-way guy and a gun owner, I am down.
All right, so I get
Well, I
my
apologize to everybody ahead of time if I tick anybody.
Hey, I like that. This is what I was hoping would happen. That there's going to be talking points to these songs. I like that there's some substance here. That we're not just talking about American songs, but we're talking about America,
Yeah.
you know, and what we think, and that's awesome.
It doesn't have to be rah, rah, rah America. That's what I like this shit. But I get to my number 10, America by Simon and Garfunkel.
I knew
I
someone
like-
was going to take that one.
I like
Yes
that
did a
as
great
song.
version of that.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. No. I like Simon and Garfunkel.
I like Simon and Garfunkel.
Yes, it's a good song.
All right. And then I get to Jerry. Let's see. We're an American band, Grand Funk Railroad.
Yeah, I think that's more about Grand Funk Railroad, but we'll let that slide. It's a great song.
Yeah. And then we get to Scribble, Kid Rock, Jackson, Mississippi.
Kid Rock could be like 50 songs.
Yeah.
He could be like 50 songs. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair assessment.
Joseph, what's your number 9, man?
All right. Well, my number 9. In 1985, a small purple man from Minneapolis, Minnesota,
Oh.
wrote a fantastic song on his Around the World in a Day album
Oh.
called America.
Yes.
Fan freaking tastic track. That in general is just one of my favorite Prince albums. I love that album so much. And that song is very, if you read the lyrics of that song, it's very telling with a lot of the stuff going on in the 80s. with the government, and how Prince kind of felt about a lot of things that were going on. And I mean, just from the chorus, the way it ends with it's basically it's kind of not making fun of, but kind of using America the Beautiful as a kind of a counterpoint. And the chorus is America, America, God shed His grace on thee. America, America, keep the children free. So it's kind of talking about making sure that there's opportunities for the next generation, keeping America safe, freedom, love, joy, that kind of stuff. Things that Prince really talked about a lot, that he really felt was important to talk about. And yeah, I think it's an amazing song, done in a way that only Prince could do it. So that is my number 9 is Prince, America.
Great song. Eddy.
Very good choice. Next is an artist that's actually going to pop up twice. Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper is one of the best American artists in general. You know, I'm a big fan. Done some videos about him. But
that
the thing
album rules.
I'm very excited about it. I do like those first 2 tracks I've heard.
Yes.
I'm holding 2 CDs in my hand, and I'm waiting to see which one I get to hold up.
Yeah. You probably, it's kind of a spoiler alert for the other one once you, because but anyway, I guess you kind of know it's one of the 2. Although he's got a lot of songs about America.
He does.
It has to be about America, and America has to be in the title too. But
okay, is it the Alice Cooper group or is it Alice Cooper?
Both cases, it's Alice Cooper, actually. It's a solo Alice Cooper. And this is Alice Cooper, Lost in America.
Great. The Last Temptation.
Last Temptation. Love this album. Very underrated. I don't get why people don't talk about
that album.
Temptation more. It's my personal favorite after From the Inside. Like it's my favorite post-70s Alice Cooper album.
Wait, From the Inside is your favorite Alice Cooper album?
No, I said it's my favorite post, like this Last Temptation's my favorite one after that album. I love about
favorite Alice album.
See, Eddy, my thing is, my favorite post From the Inside album is the other one that I could have held up.
It might be. That's up there. That's I do love it. I would Killer's my favorite one. Bill and Dollar Babies is a close second.
Yeah, of course, all those.
I am more into the Alice Cooper band for the most part, but I like it. I love a lot of his solo stuff too, and I even but I love From the Inside. I just really love that.
We just actually talked about that a couple weeks ago on the show. Yeah. We did an album battle with that album. I love that album so much.
This to me, a lot of times, and I do like these 2 albums a lot. In the O's, there was the Eyes of Alice Cooper and Dirty Diamonds, both really good albums, especially Dirty Diamonds. I'm a really big fan of that album, but they kind of get credit for being the first return to 70s Alice, and I feel like short of like the mid 90s production. Joseph knows what I'm getting at. I feel like Lost in America is really the first time Alice stopped following trends, which he was doing throughout the 80s and 90s, early 90s. I feel like that's the first time we got like 70s Alice Cooper back again. And it was very eclectic.
I saw him play that song live.
And this song, Lost in America, I just saw him do it live just a couple months ago. He still does it.
Nice.
Great. And it's a great song. It's catchy. It's fun. I always love Alice's lyrics, his humor, the whole bit about I'm looking for a girl with
a job
in a car,
I
and
love
a house
that. Love
with
that.
cable.
And to me, it's about 90s, divorcee kids that are raised like 2 parents off there working, they're latchkey kids, types. And
I was a latchkey kid.
And Alice is like capturing that. He's capturing what it's like to be a young adolescent in America. And it's really clever lyrics, really fun, catchy song. It was a great single, great album. And to me, Alice Cooper he's a perfect artist. Bob Dylan was similar in this sense too. And Bob Dylan was a fan of Alice Cooper. He said that he was a great songwriter. And Alice and Bob both had a thing in common where they were both they could be kind of critical and satirical. I would say more satirical about America. And with Dylan, I'm not talking about his like first couple albums, but kind of what he became after he stopped being overtly political. is they used to, it was more about satire and humor, and it's almost like being critical but of someone that you're a friend with or you're a family member with. It's like it's with love. Like
Yeah.
there's a sense that Dylan and Cooper both love America and are rooting for it, but yet they're not totally blind to things that are a little fucked up that could be, anything could be improved upon. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Part of America is to continue to evolve and change and work on shit, but that doesn't mean you hate the country.
No.
And of course,
No,
Alice Cooper, as people would know, especially years later, as his politics emerged more, no, he loves America. He's
No.
very pro-American. But at the same time, he could talk about some of the uglier sides of America, and that's the thing with Lost in America. It does that, but at the same time, but with humor and love and great song, great artist, Lost in America.
It's got some great contradictory lyrics.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't get a job because I can't get a car, but I can't get a car
Because I ain't got a job. So I'm looking for
they're
a girl
funny,
with a
they're
job and a
simple,
car.
but it's deeper than you really think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's very smart, and he has a lot of lyrics like that. Alice Cooper is
yeah.
such an underrated lyricist. That's why like Dylan was clued into it. Like he's just really witty, and he just has these really great lines to stick with you, and very
Yeah.
cinematic too. Alice
yeah.
Cooper's songs are like little mini movies.
Well, yeah, the fact that this album was also, they made a comic book at the same time with Neil
Yes.
Gaiman.
The whole thing, and it's a very
really
personal
fascinating.
I mean, that album's
shelf.
all about his redemption and fighting drugs and finding Christianity. So it's a very important album.
Oh,
for him
definitely.
as well. So I wish
I
more
love
people.
it.
It's cool
So-
that you guys love it because I don't.
Something-
know.
Stolen Prayer
Yeah.
is one of my favorite Alice ballads.
Oh, that's a great song.
Yeah.
Something fun I have to mention while we're talking about that song. Back in 2019, when I was in college, I was in a class where it was basically a class where we formed a rock band, and for that in 2019 we did a 25th anniversary show of 1994, and we picked that song. We played that song. We did Lost in America.
Nice.
Cool.
Alongside, we did of course, Black Hole Sun and All Apologies from Nirvana, Basket Case from Green Day. But me and my best friend who went to that Alice Cooper show with me, picked Lost in America. We're like, we got to do that song, and he sang it, and I played drums on it. So it was really fun to get to do that song
great.
specifically.
That's great.
Very cool.
All right, Andy.
A lot of my songs are fun songs, so I'm going to add a little bit of different songs than what y'all are talking about. But I really respect the routes that y'all have gone. It's been really cool to hear these stories and what these songs mean to y'all. But I am going to go with it's already been mentioned, but Night Ranger, You Can Still Rock in America.
Great song.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what they've been opening their set list with for the last
I
4
took
years
it off
now.
my list because 2 people put it on their list.
All 3 times I've seen them live in the last 4 years, that's what they've always opened their show with.
It's one of my favorite songs by them out of all time.
Great song.
Great song. Night Ranger rules. Bushy.
My number 9. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this before, ever. It's huge in the military community. I remember my dad had this album. It's Staff Sergeant Barry Sadler and his track Ballad of the Green Berets.
Yes,
I heard that.
I have that on
Yes.
vinyl.
That's a great song, by the way.
Oh, it's amazing. It raises goosebumps on me every time I listen to it. That last verse, put silver wings on my son's chest, make him one of America's best. It's basically talking about, 100 people test to be a Green Beret, only 3 make it. He wants his son to be one of it. He wants him to jump. He wants to be, the 18 series in the military. They're not like Rangers. They're not like SEALs. They're different from every other special ops unit there is in the world, because Green Berets go in and they kill all the people that need killing, but then they train the whoever they're helping, whoever they're there to protect. They train them to do their own job and get out. They're not just there to just massacre. They're there to massacre, but then they do the work afterwards. They did a lot of work in Vietnam. This came out in the Vietnam era. Joseph, that's awesome. You have this record, because my dad had the album. It's not something that got handed off to me when he passed away. I don't know what my stepmother ever did with it. I've got to get my hands on it again one day. There's a lot of great tracks on there. But this guy, Staff Sergeant Barry Sadler, was a Green Beret himself. All these songs written and sung by him. It's a great album. It's a great song tribute to our American heroes.
They play that song a lot on 60s on 6.
Yeah.
On
Do they?
XM. Hear that a lot.
Yeah, I hear that.
That's an album that I always remember from my childhood because it's my dad's vinyl copy. My dad has it on vinyl, which we still have it in the house.
Beautiful.
I have not seen it in years. I got to go find it. It's down in our old vinyl bin.
Right.
But
I've got to get a copy of that.
I can picture the cover in my head right now.
Yeah, it's just him standing there.
Just him standing there.
Go check out eBay, maybe they have it for you, man.
Oh, it's probably on Discogs. I guarantee you.
Discogs, yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
But that's awesome. I completely agree. That's
that out of the wild quite a
album.
bit.
Yeah.
I really do.
So I'm
like
gonna
I said, all my songs.
Army picture.
He told me patriotic at first, so that's kind of the route I took.
But I did tell you later, it didn't have to be as patriotic.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a nice
counterpoint, sir. You already planted the seed.
I know,
You're talking to a veteran.
Eddie told me it doesn't have to be overly patriotic, and I said, "Yeah, that's cool." And
but what's awesome is that Bush is going to talk about a lot of songs that probably aren't on our list.
Oh, that's
right.
So
there's going to be some
like
great songs that
really cool.
That's what's very American about it. We're getting
we're American. You don't have to do like what we're supposed to do. Fucking cool.
You get enlightened, comrade.
So I get to my number 9. I get to my number 9. Living in the USA by the Steve Miller Band.
Yeah.
Living in the USA. I love that fucking song. I love the Steve Miller Band. I think they are amazing. I love Steve Miller. Fucking great. I like how you talk shit about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Fucking great. Fucking curmudgeon. Fucking love it. And they get to Jerry. Let's see. His number 9 is American Heart. I don't know that song.
What song?
America.
Oh, from Heart. Not American Heart, but America by
Heart. I
know
guess,
that.
yeah.
It's all right. He's a big Heart guy, so I guess.
I'm a big Heart guy. I didn't pick any Heart songs. So.
I'm a big no 2 albums by Heart guy.
You should listen to a lot more albums by Heart. They're amazing.
They got a lot of good stuff. The song's all right. It's a nice.
I'm a big greatest hits kind of guy. For Heart.
There should be more. There should be more.
I like one that has never on it.
There should be more tracks
the
by
self-titled,
you, Andy.
Yeah.
Heart rules. And then Scribble goes to his number 9, Brand New Sin, My World. I don't know this song at all.
I don't know. Might be new
idea.
stuff.
I don't know. So then we go back to you, Joseph. You're number 8.
All right. Well, just in time for the 4th of July sale at Cooper's Carnival of Cleaning Classic Cars.
I know what you're going with.
That's Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper, I Love America. This is the album I was talking about. I adore this album. Dada is an amazing album.
Yeah, I love it too. That's my favorite of the 80s.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. But I like all the black. I love all the black out there.
So do I. But Zipper Catches Skin, I'm a little iffy on. But
I like that too.
I love this one. I love Special Forces.
Yeah, Special Forces and Dada are definitely my 2 favorite from that era. But I do like Fly Catches Zipper. I think there's some good tunes on that.
Chris Senzak loves you guys.
I finally tracked this down on CD recently and didn't have to pay an exorbitant amount of money for it, which is great. But Alice Cooper, I Love America. The lyrics on that are just hilarious. I love General Patton in World War II. I love all this is right. These
me too.
Yeah, these random
I love like when he runs away from saying fuck at the end.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to meet a waitress that'll flirt.
Yeah. I love a waitress who loves to flirt. They're the best kind. I love America.
And he rhymes mustard with General Custard. He says, I love a hot dog with mustard. I like what them Indians did to General Custard.
Oh my God.
That's like some Wu-Tang shit.
Oh, it is.
Good. Are you guys going to see the Wu-Tang final tour?
No.
I'm just asking.
I love the Beeve and Wally too. Just the most knowing the backstory of Alice Cooper has no clue what's going on at this point.
I know, but that's like the scene. He's in some kind of cracked out.
Oh yeah. It's amazing. Yeah, some of the other stuff on this album is just like.
I love the whole album.
I never wrote anything that good when I was drunk. Just so you know.
To be fair, I don't know if anyone has. Alice Cooper's blackout period is such a unique thing in music. Like
Yes.
you got like some of the late 70s Aerosmith stuff when they were just like on all the drugs.
Yeah, well,
You have
David Bowie's Station to Station.
David Bowie's Station to
He doesn't
Station.
remember doing it. It's his best album, I think.
Yeah. Then you got like some of the stuff that Led Zeppelin was doing in the late 70s when they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Drugs have made a lot of great
Drugs are
albums.
amazing. Everyone should take drugs if they want to make music. I mean, it might destroy your life in the long run, but
But
for
you'll
the
get
first
some great
5
music out
years,
of it.
it's
Just
gonna-
remember, drugs, not hugs.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do what Alice Cooper did it. He
Yeah.
did the
Music.
drugs. He got about 15 years of great music, and then
Yeah.
he got off them and saved his life, and still did some good
And
music.
still did some really great music because I mean, there's like
Yeah.
at least 3 or 4 albums after the blackout period that I would hold up as some of his best.
Yeah,
So-
and
and that new album coming out this month,
I'm
I'm
very excited.
Yeah,
I have
you,
pre- I have
you gave me,
pre-ordered
you
on
gave me
CD and
the
vinyl.
I
vinyl
didn't
deal.
dislike the last two. I know some people. I liked Road.
I wasn't a
I
fan
like
of the last
Road.
two.
I didn't like Road.
they grew up-
Paranormal was okay. I like Paranormal.
Paranormal was okay. Yeah, I agree with you. On that.
had a
But
few.
the new album sounds.
To me,
There's
the
always
last-
one. I will say this: Alice Cooper. Even the albums that aren't so hot. There's always like one or two.
Oh yeah, there's always
Yeah,
some
I
good
agree
stuff
with
on
that too.
it.
Detroit
For me, the-
Stories I loved.
that grew
for
on me. That was a grow.
I-
I didn't
I
really
saw-
like it at first, but
I
now
saw
I really
Eddie,
like it.
I
It's
saw
a fun
Eddie's
album.
videos on Detroit Stories and the last album.
For
Yeah,
me, the last
I gave the
really-
Detroit Stories kind of a negative review at the time, but
Yeah.
I recant it on the video for Road. I went back and said I
you
was hard on
did.
it.
I heard that.
I got the
For
Plug
me, the-
podcast review of that album when it came out. We blew that thing up. It was great.
For me, this was the last
We're
great
on it.
one. That was the last great one for me.
Listen, Brutal Planet. I know everyone loves Brutal Planet. Like I said, I don't like industrial music, so that's my only issue. I can hear it's a good album. Like if you like industrial music, it's a good album. But yeah, I just don't really.
I agree with you that he's done some good albums after that. I love Dirty Diamonds.
Dirty Diamonds is really good. That's probably my
I think there's some
favorite
really.
after.
I think there's
Rest.
like at least like 3 or 4 good songs on everything he's done since.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't think he's made an album this solid since this one.
I can't believe I don't have Freedom on my list.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I was well,
Amazing.
Alice Cooper's another one. You could have like 50 songs.
Oh,
about
yeah.
Alice Cooper.
Elected.
Yeah.
Great one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah,
no else on my list.
All right.
Got a bunch of
All
rednecks.
right. So who did I just talk to?
That was me.
So then, Eddie, what do you got next?
Okay, this a lady I love. I'm a big fan. I know most of you rock bros aren't going to be into her, but so this is like the most pop thing on my list. But I'm a big fan, and she's very into Americana. She sings a lot of songs about America. I'm talking about Lana Del Rey with a song
Lana.
called American. It's actually just called American. And it's from her Paradise EP, which came out after her big breakthrough album, Born to Die. And this is a period where she was always like draping herself with the American flag. It was like part of her image a little bit, that she was like diving into like overt. I wouldn't say it was even patriotic so much as more of a cultural thing. Like she was just into Americana, like the idea of it. Some people might think it was a little superficial. But with this song American, which is just this kind of dreamy, fun, upbeat pop song, she's like really getting into the kind of the feeling of what it's like to be like a young woman who's living in America. And she's like, she references actually Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA in it. So there's kind of a pocket reference to that within this song. And she talks about Elvis, and she just talks about being young and dating and just all this fun stuff that, not saying other countries don't have it, but there's a lot of countries that don't. And this is the thing, is that this freedom that we do sometimes take for granted, that this young woman could live and free and flirt and wear short little skirts and have fun, and that's kind of what she's embracing, this idea that I'm a young, attractive woman in America, and doesn't that kick ass? And it's not the kind of song you really hear a lot, especially nowadays. People are very cynical nowadays. And this is a very optimistic song. It's a fun song. It's sexy. It's got a good hook. And I felt it needed to be on my goddamn list. So there you go. Lana Del Rey.
She is awesome.
Andy, you're number 8, man.
Yeah, my number 8. It's a fun song. It talks about the history of rock and roll here in America, and that is John Mellencamp with ROCK in the USA.
Yeah,
I like the way that it names checks in almost in a chronological order of the birth of rock here in America. So that's a cool song. ROCK in the USA.
I took that off because Jerry had that on his list. We'll get to Bushy. What do you got?
Interesting you picked that. I literally, when I was over here scribbling, I'd literally just taken that one off my list to put this other one back in. Great tune, great tune. What are we on? 8?
8.
Man, this granola eating hippie, I love him. I liked him in the movies. I liked him in Oh God. John Denver, Take Me Home, Country Roads.
That's a great one.
Man, it's a fun song. And I don't care where you are, what mood you're in. When that song is playing, we all sing along. We're
Almost Heaven, West Virginia.
Yeah, man. We're all mountain people when it comes down to that. Maybe I'm a little sentimental because I'm living in the mountains now and not up in that city in New York. Not New York City, but a city in New York. Yeah, Take Me Home, Country Roads, great tune. I love John Denver in general, but I think that's a great tune that really captures some Americana as well.
Lana Del Rey actually covered that song. She did a cover.
Last fall we were taking.
She references John Denver a lot. Yeah, I should dive into John Denver. I think I'd like him.
He's really good. Check out John
recommend?
Denver and the Muppets: A Christmas Together.
Oh, I was about to say,
I knew
Bushy's
that.
all-time favorite album.
But I always did love Country Road. Take Me Home, and I feel
Rocky
like
Mountain High.
I feel like I'd like his stuff. I just know the hits, but I'm into a lot of 70s country.
You gotta think that Rocky Mountain High was PMRC. Yeah.
I'll check that out.
But we were taking a train ride last year from a small town in Arizona into the Grand Canyon, and sometimes they had some people come in and entertain. And this guy he worked for the train, and he came in with a guitar and he would play certain songs. Well, one of the songs he played was "Take Me Home, Country Roads," and I mean the whole cable car was just singing along. So that
I like John Denver. John Denver's a banger.
That's one of those songs that no matter who you are, where you live, you will sing that song. It's like Sweet Caroline.
Great.
Yeah, exactly. What I was going to say.
Like I haven't heard that song in years, but I knew word for word. Still.
Yeah. When I go to that festival in South Carolina, there's always one band
that's going to play it.
They'll play that song on stage, and the whole crowd is just losing their minds singing that song. It's
one of those American institution songs.
Oh yeah, no. Me, I live about 10 miles from part of the Appalachian Mountains, so it's like I understand. Like
I'm in the Appalachians, buddy.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know you are. Oh, I know. Oh, I know you. I drive through them all the time.
Here, I'll be right back.
So
they say weird things like yuns down here. I'm in them.
Oh yeah.
So I go for
more corn liquor than you could possibly imagine in these here hills.
So I go for my number 8, the band soundtrack from the Gangs of America. Looking
is that U2 song?
The Hands That Built America.
Ugh.
I love that fucking song. Oh, the Hands That Built America.
Bono has no right to sing about America.
Say that title again, just so people can hear the most pretentious title on this list. Say it.
The Hands That Built America is really good. I love that song, man.
Because Bono knows so much about it.
I'm the most pretentious musician in the
fuck you. Fuck you on pretentious.
Thank you.
That's usually, Paul Stanley.
Usually Jerry and I are here alone fighting that fight.
Paul Stanley, wrote great lyrics like,
he's pretentious.
Put your hand
in my pocket and grab onto my rocket.
Hey,
never saying that.
Fuck that shit. Hands That
That's
Built
America.
That's true America. And you can't talk crap about him. He's Jewish. It's anti-Semitic.
You don't like the Gangs in New York? That movie rules.
It's okay. It's not one of the better Scorsese movies.
I love that fucking movie, man.
I love to put it on to fall asleep because I'm out in like 10 minutes.
Hey, you bastard.
Daniel Day-Lewis is great in it, but that's about it.
You know which movie I like with Daniel Day-Lewis? Last of the Mohicans. It was filmed around me.
I love my
I'm in the area that movie was made in.
All right, and then we get to something that Jerry picked, which I hope we didn't pick, Joseph, but you probably picked because you guys do a 6 episode.
I left this one for him.
Miss America. He picked 2 6 songs.
He did. I left that for him.
I did pick 2 U2 songs that you guys didn't pick, but Miss America. How could you
pick 2 U2 songs on a list
because
about
there's
America?
2 America songs by U2.
Nobody else picked U2.
Yeah, that's why I picked them. Miss America by Styx. What a fucking great song, Jerry. Fucking rules. And I agree with that song. I didn't pick it because I thought Jerry or you would pick that song.
And I did. I picked Miss America. That was my first pick.
Yeah. And then Skirble picked Bing Crosby, Early American.
Nice.
So then we get
bringing
back
out
to
classic standards there.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Oh yeah, he loves that 30s.
Oh yeah,
I
love
love it
that.
too.
I like
Joseph,
some of it. I like some of it.
I love it at Christmas time.
I like
where
Bing
you got
Crosby
your
Christmas.
number 7, Joseph?
Okay. So my next pick is off of the Great Reckoning album, REM with Little America. Kind of talking. It's a song about touring, but it's also a song about kind of the changing American South. They're a band that really knew a lot about that kind of part of the country, and yeah, so they're kind of writing about just the changes that they were seeing in the American South in the 80s, kind of the move away from agriculture in a way. And yeah, I think there's some really cool lyrics in this song. Great. That early REM stuff is just amazing. The IRS years of REM.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Some great albums from them, and that's just like right in that classic period. So yeah, my next pick is Little America by REM.
Little America by REM. All right.
Really
Eddie,
good
what's
choice.
your
Yeah,
number
I
7?
like it. That's something most of us can agree on. REM's better than you too. Anyway,
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you.
hey, I love Octoon Baby. I think that's a great.
Yeah,
album.
Great album.
We are gonna do a review on Freeform to the
I'll take
chagrin
a
of Jerry.
shiny happy people over anything you two.
Oh, what the
I mean,
fuck are you talking about, Bushy?
But overall, REM's better. Anyway,
No!
Reckoning's a great album. Anyway, but I did not put REM on my list, but I'm glad that Joseph did. Anyway, I am going with a band I don't actually talk too much about, but I'm actually a big fan of, especially their 90s stuff. Corrosion of Conformity.
Ooh, yes.
Ooh,
Great.
good one.
I describe them as Southern metal. That's how
Yeah, I agree with that too.
it's like imagine if Leonard Skinner
Oh, fuck yeah.
was a full-fledged heavy
They
metal
do On the
band.
Hunt. Have you heard their version of On the Hunt by Leonard Skinner?
I have, yeah.
So
And
good.
they totally got the vibe, especially once Pepper Keenan really started to dominate them. This is a song from my favorite album, actually. There's Wise Blood, a song called Long Whip / Big America. Essentially, just say Big America. It's easier. And it's a song about America. And it's just really hard and gritty and heavy and catchy. And the lyrics, though, it kind of, you could say, kind of critical of America, but again, these are like good old boys. Like Pepper Keenan's not like anti-American. He's just real about it, like the same way blues singers would be singing about it, or country singers, just singing about the hardships more of the working man. It's just a working class song about how there's like these fat cats and aristocrats and, those people on the top that are taking advantage of people and exploiting them, whether it's through religion, military. Sometimes you got to watch out. Sometimes they're not looking out for you and they're going to use you. And it's not anti-American. It's just pro-American, the people, not the government, but the people. And that was the vibe of the song. That's what I get from the lyrics. But at the same time, also just like embracing it. Like it's big. This is it. Like this is what's going on. This is America. It might not be perfect, but this is the world we live in, and we're gonna keep on trucking regardless. That's the whole vibe. I love these two. They did 2 albums of saying Deliverance and Wise Blood. To me, it's like what Metallica was kind of trying to go with. What they were trying to go for with the Load albums, I felt, which have some good songs, but overall, I don't think there's a lot of filler. Whereas these 2 albums, no filler. They're both great, and it's like that's if you like Load and Reload, man, check out Deliverance and Wise Blood, because to me they outload the Load albums, and like that's the best Southern metal you can listen to from the mid '90s, and they're just a great band, and not enough people talk about them in my opinion. So there you go, Big America, Corrosion of Conformity.
Andy, you're number 7, man.
Yeah, my number 7, I am going to go with the American icon, Ray Charles, America the Beautiful. I absolutely love that song.
He's on my list, and I refuse to remove that one.
I'm not going to move that one. And I'm not going to remove my number 1 because my number 1's already been mentioned, and I'm going to keep it.
Same.
So America the Beautiful.
Beautiful version, man. Ray Charles brings the soul in that one. Good
Fuck
Lord.
yeah. Bushy.
My number 7, I'm going back to the patriotism for the American warfighter. Billy Ray Cyrus, Some Gave All. This is a song that every time I listen to it, I'm not going to lie, I tear up. Man, when you see that old son of a gun hobbling down the street with that veteran hat on, you walk up, shake his hand, give him a smile, something. Because this is about that very subject matter. You know, a lot of people don't know who this guy is. You know, Sandy Kane is who he's talking about, but he was a Vietnam War hero. These guys have a special place in my heart. I can never stop singing enough praises to those guys that went over there and like did the deed and like did it for real. I had a pretty easy, 2 terms of service. My dad did 20 years and never had to deploy once. Yet my grandfather served for 29 years and fought in 3 wars. So Billy Ray Cyrus, Some Gave All. I know a lot of people give him crap because of Achy Breaky Heart, which came off this same record. But that man is so much more deep than Achy Breaky Heart. And spoiler, I love that song too. Some Gave All. That'll hit you right in the feels if you're a patriot and care about our military men and women. I tell you what.
Every time I see some gentleman or woman wearing a cap saying that they're from this branch or from this war, I always thank them for their
Absolutely.
service.
I do the same thing. I always say thank you for your service, man.
I mean, I didn't serve. But
I'm a pussy. I didn't serve, man. I'm a pussy. I admit that. And I thank you guys for who served to protect our freedoms. That is amazing.
It is.
And I thank you guys for that shit, man.
You get to see the world, and you don't get to see the best parts of it.
No. And then
it took me all these years to come back to the fold there, Mark, was because I've seen all the ugly in the world.
You've seen it more than I have, man. And I'm 5 years older than you. But then I get to, it's not a song about America, but they mention a lot of cities in this song. The heart of rock and roll is still beating. By fucking Huey Lewis and the News. They talk about all these cities.
I'm gonna allow that.
He said, "I'm allow that."
Yeah. He talks about.
They talk about cities: Detroit, San Francisco, New
Rouge,
York. They talk
Dallas,
about all,
Oklahoma,
basically all the American cities. It's a fucking great song. Huey Lewis on the News is a fucking great band.
Chasing your tail. You're not a dog, stupid.
I love fucking
talking to the dog. He's not talking to you, Mark.
And what I seen, I believe him.
To the cat.
The fucking
He's
old
talking
man,
to the cat.
The old
The
man,
dog's
they
sleeping.
barely breathing. But the
I didn't think a
rock
cat
and
would be that stupid.
It's like
at the top of its scratching post, chasing its tail around the scratching post.
Yeah, that sounds like dog shit. I didn't think a cat would be doing that.
it's like they talk about
No, that
New York-
that U2 song he just mentioned sounds like dog shit.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, it's exciting.
Come
The
on.
hands
You
that
lose
built
the news of hard rock
America.
and roll. New York isn't everything. This ain't someplace I'd rather be.
You know what's tough? Picture you're in U2, but you're not Bono. And,
I
and
love
you're one of the
Bono.
other guys.
I can't wait
He
for
writes
the
a
new
song, and it's called "The Hands That Built America." And you got to like rein it in. You can't laugh in his face because he's like, the singer.
Great
Play
fucking.
that
I got another YouTube song on my list, bitches. So I'm just gonna
And
say
how
that.
sad is that?
You
And
guys
then they
can
think,
fuck
I
off.
live in a mansion. I fuck models. So think that get me through this.
Bono is not fucking a dick. I'm just saying. And then we got Jerry. He picked ROCK in the USA by John Cougar. Mellencamp. That's a great song. I had that on my list, but I changed it out for another YouTube song because I want to get other
Wow,
songs
thanks,
on here.
Jerry. See what you did?
Fuck you, Jerry.
Gosh.
Fuck you, Jerry. And then Scribble. What has he got? He's got Kid Rock, American Badass.
It's a good one.
Oh wait, I
Cool.
fucked
So
up. I
sad,
fucked up.
so
No,
sad but
I
true.
fucked.
Cool. Great
I
song.
fucked up. No, that's his number 4.
Yeah, Sad but True's awesome song.
His number 7 is Everclear Portland Rain.
Well, I like the other one better.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that again.
I liked it when Metallica recorded it, not when
I
Kid Rock
hated it,
recorded
but at least Kid Rock made it interesting.
All right, Joseph, you're number 6.
All right. Well, a couple times so far on this list, Night Ranger, You Can Still Rock in America has been mentioned. I think that Jack Blades actually wrote a better song about America. And he co-wrote that song with Tommy Shaw and Ted Nugent. And that is Damn Yankees, Don't Tread on Me.
Great song.
Really great about just wanting to live free in America. Just some great lyrics. Me and Uncle Ted don't always see eye to eye on some things. But yeah, no, I think this is a good track. I love the guitar playing on it. The middle section is all like straight out of Queen almost. It's really weird. They go into this kind of Queen-esque bridge in this song, but I think it's a great sing-along track. So that is my next pick is Damn Yankees Don't Tread on Me.
Here. Sorry about that.
No problem.
All right, Eddie.
I picked a song that Joseph already picked, but I love it so much. I'm gonna say it again. I don't have to say too much because he already talked about it very eloquently. Actually, there's more than one song on my list that Joseph already picked. But this one is the Prince one, America. I mean, come on, it's Prince, and it's a song called America. How can I not pick it? And it's awesome. I will. Everything Joseph said is true. Prince himself is very complicated. His politics were complicated. Sometimes he leaned a little right, sometimes a little left. Depends kind of on the issue and what was going on with himself at the time. Especially even in the 80s, he was a little. He's a complicated man. Prince was a complicated man. He was always, even this song. It's like wrestling with the ills of society, but yet there is still an optimism that's peeking through of trying to move to the future, and the song is actually kind of funky and fun, but it does have the street bite to it. And also, I mean, the guitar work. Wow.
Oh, of course.
It's a Prince song, of course. Prince's greatest guitar work. Like, he's just shredding on it. Great riffs. It's amazing. It's to me, this is kind of patriotic, but it's patriotic and critical at the same time. And it's a great song from a great album, from a great period, from a great American artist.
No, of
Prince.
course. So a Prince song with a similar theme. I almost also picked "Sign of the Times."
Sign of the Times could also work.
Really
good work
too. Yeah. Joseph, what was your 6? I had to go to the bathroom.
Damn Yankees Don't Tread on Me.
Great one.
Great tune.
All right, so then we get to your number 6, Eddie. Oh, he just
went. That was his number 6.
Oh, number 6. So
where are you?
Number 6. You're
Put
number
the
6.
away.
Yeah, I'm done drinking. Number 6, Andy.
Yeah,
cheers
my
to that.
Number 6. It's going to be an 80s dance song from the early 80s from an English performer, and that is Kim Wilde, "Kids in America." Absolutely love that song.
Great tune. I just listened to that earlier today.
Did you really?
Yeah. We're the kids in America. Oh, oh.
Woo! And that was her brother that wrote that song, and her brother that produced it for her.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, so Bushy.
My number 6. Man, tomorrow we're celebrating America's 249th anniversary. My family's been in this country since 1700, man. Martina McBride, Independence Day.
Woo-hoo-hoo! What a song.
If you are mad about what's going on in this country, so much so that you're not celebrating America's birthday, I'm judging you because, darn it, the Brits, they're not celebrating tomorrow. Go over.
They gotta go to work tomorrow.
They gotta go to work. Absolutely.
They gotta go to work.
I seen Martina McBride live. She was amazing.
She's an amazing voice.
You might not agree with everything that's going on in this country, but you still should love your country.
This is a great country. I've been around the world, man, and I'm here to tell you this is the greatest darn country on the planet. We have more freedoms, even though we feel like we don't. We have more freedoms than any other country in the world. It's a great place to live. Yeah, things don't always go the way you want, but darn it, that's what makes it America. I've never been that guy that, okay, well, this guy got elected, I'm leaving. No, I'm not. I'm going to get my butt up tomorrow. I'm going to go to work, and I'm going to try to enact the change I want to enact. But this song right here, Martina McBride's Independence Day, it's a 100% celebration of America, of this country. That's one of the things I love about country music so much. Out of all the genres of music, this genre celebrates America hard. They celebrate patriotism. It's a great song. And hey, you're not going to get a better vocal, except for my number 1, than Martina McBride.
Well, Martina
She
rules,
is.
dude. I agree with that. I've seen her
got
live.
some pipes.
You said that your friend's been here since the 1700s. My
No,
grandmother's
since
side,
1700, we've been in this country.
um,
Before it was even a country.
yeah, my on my grandmother's side, she used to have a town called Bettisville named after her, and it was named San Diego, Texas, after the Franciscans came and took over with Christianity. So we've been in parts of Texas for a very, very long
That's
time
awesome.
as well.
Hey,
That's awesome. I
my
love it.
grandma's dad was there for the Oklahoma land rush, far and away with Tom Cruise and
Tom
Nicole
Cruise
Kidman.
and Nicole Kidman, yeah.
Her dad
Love that
was there
movie.
for the land rush.
Love that movie. She's
That
such
movie
a
rules.
snotty chick. I am not pro smack a chick, but that whole time I was like, Tom, just give her one. Listen. This is discipline. This is abuse. That's all I was thinking that whole movie.
Far and away is a great movie. My grandma's dad was there
And me being
where
Irish,
they
I
went
kinda
and put their
related to it.
flag in the Oklahoma land rush. So
That's
that's
awesome.
fucking pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
My family came up. What were you saying, Mark?
They were Irish. They were solvent. So back then, so
Yeah, my
the
my
hands
family
that built
came over
America.
Shut up.
Hands
My family came over in, I believe, like 1760-ish, from not Central Europe, but kind of my family came over from Alsace Lorraine, which is kind of between France, Germany, and Switzerland. So it's a lot of that kind of mix. My family has literally lived in the same town since 1770.
Nice.
Oh, really? Wow.
Like
Nice.
my great grandparents are buried at the church that I still go to.
That's awesome.
wow.
So we always kind of joke that my family moved here and then just never left.
Never left.
Never moved.
And
This
we're all
town
still here.
rules.
We're still here. And my dad is one of 8 siblings. My mom is one of 7 siblings.
Wow.
In total of those 15 siblings, only 3 of them no longer live around here.
Wow, that's awesome.
So,
Mine
yeah,
is
we're
spread
kinda-
out.
we're
this
kinda
must be a
stuck here.
great place you live, Joe. So where is it?
Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
I know.
Nice.
I didn't know you were in Pennsylvania. I always thought you were more down south.
No, I'm in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, well I'm from Philly, of course. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yep.
I used to live in Bucks County too. It's
nice.
outside of Pennsylvania. But yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we're
This is-
south
This is
central.
how
About
different
10
our
minutes away from
families are.
Maryland.
Yeah.
Is your family's in Gettysburg? My grandfather's farm that I lived on for 3 years is from roughly 4 months to 3 years old. Is in Appomattox, Virginia.
Oh, there you go. There you go. From one end of the war to the other.
So I'm going back to an Irish band. Here on my number 6,
Oh,
American Soul by U2.
Ugh.
Come
I don't
on,
even know that song.
What does he know about it?
it's not a place. This country to me is sound of drum and bass. You close your eyes, you look around, look around, look around. It's a sound. Look around, look around. It's not a place. The country to me is
that's
thought that
brilliant.
offers grace. For every welcome, there's a sought. You are rock and roll. You're in rock and roll. You're rock and roll. Came here looking for American soul. It's a great fucking song.
To Adam Clayton, he's thinking mansion model.
Dude, he says, hey, it's
Don't
American
laugh.
soul.
Don't laugh.
Bono has
Larry
always
Mullen is
said,
thinking, boy, I'm going to get a big paycheck from this.
Bono has always said, America is the beacon of the world.
And
He
the
has
Edge
always
is
said
thinking, I guess some echo might make the sound better on the guitar.
Have you heard that song,
I'll
American
wash
Soul?
it out.
What 48
People-
people wrote this? The same one that wrote who runs this shit, girls? Who runs this shit,
Come on,
girls?
Come on, it's not a place. It's a dream where the whole world owns. It's a pilgrim's face. It's a heart that you
I
call
love that
her
this is
home.
like the opposite of the song I got coming up. So this is good. So just remember
It's
this.
this
Bring
call
up
home, Brother
Joseph,
John, so
remind
many
me of the
mother's
YouTube
weapon.
shitty
Dream
song.
on, Brother John, in your dreams is sleeping. You are rock and roll. You are rock and roll. You are rock and roll. Come here looking for American soul. It's a fucking great song. You guys need to check that fucking song out. It's amazing.
I'm gonna hurry up and not do that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Bono loves America than most of Americans. I'm just telling you that.
Well, that's
Just
because he doesn't live here.
he does, but he does love America. He loves the
Well,
dream
yeah, sure.
of
They made
America.
him a multi-billionaire. He loves
He's
it.
loaded
Yeah.
He loves America, man.
Yeah.
And then it gets to my number 6 on Jerry. So what do you pick? America, Neil Diamond. They come to America.
Yeah.
I took that song off because he put that on there, but that's a great song. Great pick, Jerry. And then this girl picked Megadeth, Never Walk Alone, A Call to Arms.
Because there's a couple different songs you could have went with Megadeth. It's
Yeah.
a good song. Yeah.
It's a great one, man.
It
And then we
means-
get to you, Joseph, your number 5.
All right. Well, since I just showed my cards about revealing where I live, in 2004, Iced Earth put out a really great album called The
Ooh.
Glorious Burden, where they it's all songs about American history, and the centerpiece of the album is a 3-part epic track all about the Battle of Gettysburg, just called Gettysburg. Each part is one of the 3 days of the battle, and it kind of talks about the different events that happened. And it's a really, really great track. And it's really special to me just because I live here. I've worked on the battlefield. I've given tours on the battlefield, so it's something that's very special to me. I always say to people, growing up, I don't think I realized how important of a piece of American history I lived so close to. Just because
You're right there, dude. And
yeah, like
I
growing
visited
up,
once
it's
on
a
the
beautiful.
way to Virginia. I had to
Yeah.
stop at Gettysburg because I've been to Appomattox Courthouse a million times because it was 10 minutes from my grandparents' house, their farm, and we were going down there to visit my dad, and I was like, you know what? I've got to go to Gettysburg. So we toured the battlegrounds, both sides to see what was going on. I've been up to Little Knoll or
Little Round Top.
Little Round Top,
Mhm.
Big Round Top, and it's like when you look over that, I understand all the people that think ghosts are still there. I didn't witness anything, but when you think about the number of men that died to free people,
Yeah.
to free people, okay, it's heartbreaking but powerful at the same time. It's a very somber place. I haven't had a feeling other than ever being at Gettysburg than being at the World Trade Center and looking at the new building.
Very similar feeling.
Those are the only 2 places I've ever had that feeling of just total somber and you tear up just knowing what happened. And I don't care about the conspiracy theories about whether it was imploded or whether it fell on its own volition. I remember watching people jumping out of those things on TV. And when you're looking up at that height, and I'm terrified of heights.
Me too.
They're thinking, how bad was it? How bad was the smoke? How bad was the heat that you're like, I'm just going to jump? I can't imagine it. Looking at those battlefields and you're up there on Big Round Top and Little Round Top and you're looking down and you're thinking muskets because I'm a gun guy. And I'm thinking, good Lord, what possesses people to just keep advancing? And what possesses these other people knowing that those are their brothers out there on that field just shooting? It's a very somber place.
Yeah. It's some of the things like I said, I for a couple of years I worked as a tour guide at the one of the museums there where it was actually the building where the Union cavalry was stationed at the first day of the battle that General Buford went up in the cupola on top of the building, scouted out. If you've seen the movie Gettysburg, Sam Elliott, his character was in the top of that building.
Gettysburg and Gods and Generals, man, that's 7 or 8 hours of your day well spent. If you want to know about the Civil War, there's two parts of Americana. Yes, there's 2 parts of Americana that I study hard, and that's the Civil War and the Vietnam War. Those are the 2 things I'm the best versed in.
Mine is World War I, II, and the Civil War.
World War I, I don't care. We weren't that involved.
Yeah.
For me, it's two.
I care. My grandfather was involved.
That was my thing. Was my grandfather was my grandfather was a Marine in the Pacific during World War II, and that was actually what I wrote my honors thesis on in college was the Pacific War.
Awesome.
But yeah,
Pacific War is amazing.
Well, the Civil War is
amazing. People died.
It's So if I've like, literally, if you look at my bookshelf right over here, there's like 50 different books just about the Battle of Gettysburg, much less the rest of the Civil War and
I've
then
got
World
two
War
or three
II and
over here on this
everything.
shelf about the
I can
Civil
just
War myself.
I
So,
just I just finished right
as
here.
well as some Vietnam history
I
books.
just finished this book on the Nuremberg trials right here recently, so I'm always reading stuff.
Yes.
But
Love
I
to see a young guy reading books and not doing this.
yeah, I'm an
He
avid
probably does
reader.
that. He probably reads like that.
Yeah. No, I have. If you look right here, I have a giant stack of books, just all things that I've read recently. But back what I was talking about here, like
Yeah, sorry to
no,
take it
I
off
love
script like
talking.
that.
I have a history degree, so I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah,
I love
Um,
history.
Patriots, so-
That was my
Um,
that was that in junior high. I came late to class, and my history teacher said he split the class up between like half and half, and he goes, "Well, Marc Taylor is here. You guys suck now because he's gonna destroy you." And I go, that was one teacher, Mr. Freeze, in history, because I knew that was the one subject I loved in school, and we won because I answered all the questions. It was awesome.
and it's but one of the cool things about me picking this song from Iced Earth is it's apropos. Today is July 3rd. Today, 162 years ago was Pickett's Charge.
Yes.
Today is the 162nd anniversary of the final day of the Battle of Gettysburg. There's been a ton of events going on in this area. One of the coolest things, actually, last year at the museum I worked at, I got to sit and watch an outdoor screening of the movie Gettysburg. With a couple of the actors were there.
Nice.
I have a postcard over here that like Stephen Lang signed. Anyone who likes Avatar, Stephen Lang. Unfortunately, Martin Sheen was not there for that screening, but Martin Sheen comes to Gettysburg almost at least once a year for different
Stephen
things.
Lang, if you don't know, played Stonewall Jackson in Gods and Generals.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
He plays Pickett in this, and he plays Stonewall Jackson in this.
Yeah, that's the great part. He's the only actor to play two different roles.
Yeah, because you have a lot of actors that are in both movies, but
yeah, because what's his face played the same character in both.
Jeff Daniels.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Jeff Daniels.
He plays Chamberlain in both movies.
Yeah.
But
Dumb and Dumber, man.
one of the coolest things for me was last year getting to sit outside on the battlefield and watch this movie on a big screen with
That's
some of the
awesome.
actors there, and it was just such a great experience. And
I'm
this
very
song-
envious of you. I'm very envious.
It took me a while growing up to realize how much of an honor it is to live in this area and be able to experience just getting in my car, driving 10 minutes to the battlefield anytime I want to.
Right.
Like when I was,
just
when
want
I
to
was
be
a
clear
kid.
on what I said earlier. My grandfather
Yeah.
did have a 2,000-acre vegetable farm and just outside of Appomattox Courthouse, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
That's not where we're from. My dad's from Greensboro, North Carolina. My family migrated south after the war. Just
Just to clarify that one a little bit, but yeah, no.
we didn't own anybody. We fought for the right side, just so you know. Then we migrated down.
Yeah, but yeah, it's listening to the Iced Earth Gettysburg song is just always so makes me think like the fact that somebody wrote this song or like made a movie about the Battle of Gettysburg.
I'm not familiar with that. I'm going to listen to that.
Yeah, it's so it's a 2-disc album. The first disc they did stuff about like Revolutionary War all the way through to not all of it's American history. There's some world history, but it's all the way up through. The second disc is an entire it's like 35 minutes just about the Battle of Gettysburg. It's 3
What's
songs.
the album called?
The Glorious Burden. It's it has, I can't remember. I think, does it have Ripper Owens? Yeah, Ripper Owens is the vocalist on it. That was in Judas Priest, now with KK's Priest.
Iced Earth's one of those bands that I've never dove, so I'm definitely going to check that out.
They have some really great stuff. And
I like Sabaton because of their World War II and World War I history. So
yeah,
all right.
That was a very long diatribe on Gettysburg. But
let's move on to Eddie, man. What's your number 5, man?
This was unlike Bono. I mean, listen, he does generally love America.
Yeah, he does.
It's cool.
He just sucks.
Fuck you.
But anyway, but this guy loved America so much that he moved from England to America, and it's where he actually died. And this is a song he wrote, and it actually has the same title as the last song I had on my list. It's called America. And in fact, I'm actually wearing the shirt from it.
Motorhead. Yeah,
Took it
baby.
off my list when
America.
I saw your shirt, brother. That
Hey,
was
not
my
that
one English band.
the one English band I got has an America shirt
I
and
got one
song.
English band on here.
See, right there at the bottom.
Motorhead.
There you go. If you got a British band, it might as well be Motorhead because they're one of the greatest bands of all time.
They
Yes,
are.
sir. Thank you.
And that song, America, kicks ass. Hey, even before we get to the great lyrics, another very underrated lyricist. Lemmy's really
Oh,
a
yeah.
clever
Yeah.
lyricist. And he captures
1916 makes me cry to this day.
Great.
Hey,
Oh,
we
it's
did a
amazing.
review on
Album.
Freeform with Eddie.
amazing song. That was actually the album that got me into Motorhead was 19.
We did that review with you.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, that's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
And World War One, actually, it's about. But yeah, with this one, it's a tour song, more or less. It's about his feeling about America touring, but he's capturing the whole vibe of it. And it's like the grit, and it might sound critical, but it's actually, no, he's into it. He likes that it's all gritty and hot and kind of dangerous. And especially from where he was in England, like to him, America was like kind of like where the action was. And there's some stuff about like the satanic panic and all that stuff in the mid 80s. So he's going in with like there's some crazy people kind of mindset, but yet it's where the action is, it's where the fun is, and it's like a big hot mess. That's kind of how he describes it, like a big hot mess that I kind of want to jump into. And what do you know? Like a couple years later, he moved here. So it has that vibe. I love the riff, Lemmy and Fast Eddie Clark. This is actually the last album. It's from Iron Fist, the last album with the original.
My all-time favorite Motorhead album.
Really?
Amazing album. I love Iron Fist. Great, raw, nasty, mean sounding album. I kind of think of it, it's like their flick of the switch. That's how I kind of think of it. It's like
That's a great comparison.
to me, it's a straight up dark and mean, and it kicks ass. I always love this song. I love the whole album, but America kicks ass. So it's one of the songs I actually even considered being my number one. But there just happened to be a couple songs I decided to put above it. But this awesome song, definitely the best song written about America from a Limey ever. So there you go. Good job, Lemmy.
Does that mean that Another Perfect Day is their fly on the wall?
Kind of, yeah. Actually,
It kind of is, actually.
It kind of is. It's a little different. It's got some more reverb. It's a little bit, and that, hey, I love both those albums. So
Same.
I love
So do I.
mid '80s Motorhead and AC/DC. So yeah.
Or
Motorhead
Andy,
never made a
number
bad
5.
album, in my opinion.
Yeah, my next one is gonna be the Beach Boys, Surfing USA.
Fuck.
Yes.
Surfing USA.
Everybody
Fuck.
had a notion. Cussing USA.
Very
Yeah.
very
I go
All
on
right.
before I yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Bushy.
What number are we on? Number 5,
5.
right? I'm staying in my wheelhouse, man. And we were just talking about that in relation to Gettysburg. We jumped up about 100 years. Toby Keith, courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, man.
Yeah, good song.
And I'm sorry. I come from a long line of veterans, and if you mess with this country, we're gonna rise up. We're gonna stand up. We're gonna take arms. We're gonna defend. And this song was just such dude. I love that line. We'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way. And we've been doing that for 249 years. You're not going to get us. You might get us over there. You're not going to get us here, is the bottom line. The British tried it again in 1812 and got sent home packing. It's a great tune. Came from a great time, a time where left, right, middle, it didn't matter. There was American flags everywhere. We were all united. It was a great time. I miss that time. And in the face of such tragedy, we all finally came together.
Patriotism was almost an all-time high at that moment there.
Absolutely. I still think it should still be. I mean, we can all disagree politically. That doesn't mean a lick split.
Right.
What matters is we live in the greatest darn country in the world. And man, this one really touches me. Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue. You can't ask for a more patriotic song except for my next
Next 4.
All right. So you already picked Surfing USA, Andy. I just took
Great.
that song off. I just took that song off my list So I'm going to get more on there. I'm going to go with America, Ventura Highway.
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
America? You don't know America? Sister Golden Hair.
Maybe.
Yeah, Ventura Highway. It's a
What
great.
They're a
is
folky kind of band.
Yeah.
Sure. There, you got to put the band America. on
America,
it.
bread.
They
America was
had.
actually
They
a bunch
had.
of
I went to the Horse with No Name.
yeah.
Oh, that.
went to-
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
The
Yeah,
America
I
was
know
a
that
bunch
song.
of Air Force veterans.
Oh, you
Yeah.
mean the band America?
America. Yeah, they did a
Band
song
America.
called
Oh, yeah.
Ventura.
I know that the song about the horse with no name.
Ventura
Yeah.
Highway is a
Highway.
great song, and
Good song.
Sister Golden Hair is a
They're
great
kind
song
of a
too.
folky Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yeah, but
yeah.
you took my song Surfing USA, so I had to like change it up to
Yeah.
America Ventura Highway.
What it was, I think there were Americans who were their
Stationed overseas.
fathers
Yeah,
were
stationed
stationed
overseas, yeah.
in
So
England.
America should be in here. So that's pretty cool that you took my song. So
Yeah.
I had to change it up. Joseph, you're number 4.
Did you do Jerry and Mooger? I mean,
Oh,
Jerry.
Jerry, fuck those fuckers. That's like, what do they got? We're on.
You'll be doing that when The Godfather's number 1.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, where are we at on them? Number 5, right?
It better be.
Number 5 is American Girl, Tom Petty, which I took that off my list.
Good song.
Because
I can't believe you took that off your list, Mark.
Oh, I picked another Tom Petty song.
Oh,
It's
well,
kind
okay.
of
That's 'cause
I
Americana.
knew there had to be a
You
Tom
too.
Petty song in there.
Yeah,
Twice.
so I had to put a Tom Petty song, but Jerry put that on there, so I had to change it up. American Girl, Tom Petty, and Scribble picked 6 Feet Under, America the Brutal. I don't even know that song. So
Sure wouldn't. No
I
6
know
feet
the
under. You
band.
don't like metal.
no,
That's
shut the
metal,
fuck up. That's what Metal Mike tells you, bitch. You don't like metal. I like a lot of metal. I like the Butcher Babies. You got me into them. But what's your number 4, Joseph?
This one's definitely cheating a bit, but I could not mention this true blue patriotic American. Raise them up, see who salutes. David Lee Roth, Yankee
That's a good one.
Rose.
I knew
Yankee
somebody
Rose.
picked that shit.
I thought about that one.
Yankee Rose, man.
And she looks wild.
That's a good one.
Wow.
Yeah, give me
Great
some.
song.
Guess who's
Great pick,
guess who's-
Joseph.
Guess who's back in circulation, baby?
You know that everybody will be posting that video tomorrow.
Well, of course.
Everybody will be
It's
posting
an
that
Independence Day classic.
It's an Independence Day classic. I'll be posting it. Bushy will be posting it. Eddie will be posting it. Everybody will be
Yankee
posting
Rose.
it.
No, I've got much better songs than that to post tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Number 4, Eddie.
A lot more.
I'm gonna post my number 1. That's what I'm gonna post tomorrow.
Same.
Yeah. So number 4 is a band people have already talked about, the Beach Boys, the great American band, in my opinion. But not like a typical Beach Boys song. It is from their experimental mid-'60s period, from the Smile album, because Smile is really about America. So I kind of wanted to just slip in talking about the album a little bit too. But I picked actually my favorite song from the album called Cabin Essence. Now, this, unlike some of the others, might not sound overtly America, but it's very American. It's all about the frontier. It's actually kind of a country sounding folk song where they're singing about home on a range. And the whole idea of the album, which was an aborted album in 1967, it was released many years later. And this song was on a album that came out in 1969 called 2020. And essentially, it's talking about the pioneers that first found it, America. You were here, and then it moves into the industrial age, and they actually using these. It's very psychedelic and experimental with distorted bass and shit. And they're representing the Iron Horse and the trains coming, and it's like you're hearing the real hands of America, but it's actually, instead of spelling it out like a dumbass like Bono does, this does it in a very smart, clever way through the music, and it's very cinematic, and you go through this journey in like 3 to 4 minutes, kind of like what like the Beatles were doing on like Sgt. Pepper, where it'd be 3 to 4 minutes, but you felt like you experienced an epic, like this multicolored epic. It's one of the most amazing productions ever. Always loved Cabin Essence, but there's also a song called like Rock and Roll Over, Plymouth Rock Roll Over. Like, it's all about America, how its formation, its early days and how it eventually evolves, and it is essentially it kind of the last song actually the plan was Good Vibrations, bringing you into like the modern age. And it's a brilliant piece of Americana, even though it was not finished and released in its day. It is out there now if you want to hear it. And Cabin Essence to me is like one of the high points of the album, and it's a very significant piece of Americana. And I think the Beach Boys, like, I mean, I love their fun surf stuff too, and I think that's an important piece of Americana as well. But to me, this is like the real pinnacle of Brian Wilson's genius, who, of course, he
Recently lost, yeah.
we recently lost him. He was a real genius, one of the great geniuses, and that's a word that gets thrown around a lot, I think, a little too easily sometimes, but not with Brian Wilson. He was a genius, and just, I mean, to me, Cabin Essence just blows me away. Every time I listen to this, I go, this is like some of the most amazing music ever created. So there
What's
you
the
go.
name of that record?
The record, well, I would recommend
Smile.
actually, you could listen to Smile, but I do like 2020, which is the album it first came out on. And 2020 has a lot of different sides. It has the song Do It Again, which is a fun surf song, and it goes through a lot of different directions. So either way, Smile or 2020, depending on how deep you want to dive.
I'm gonna go Smile. I just wrote that down because
Go Smile, go
the
full
song
on.
you just mentioned, I've never heard before. I know Pet Sounds and I know the hits.
Well,
Yeah,
this was
Smile
going
was
to be
supposed
the
to be the big
follow-up
thing
to Pet
next of
Sounds.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
This was the
Okay.
plan. It kind of like Sergeant Pepper was after Revolver. This was kind of the plan. Like he was going
You're
to follow
not selling it to me. Don't go Beatles with me. Just
Well,
say it was supposed to follow up with Pet Sounds.
if you like the Beach Boys better than the Beatles, then you will like this better than Sergeant Pepper because it's the Beach Boys version.
I don't like Sergeant Pepper, and I'm going to be honest. I also don't like the Rolling Stones trying to cop them doing her
Ugh.
Majesty's
Satanic Majesties.
Request.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was
that was
That album
bad.
makes me barf.
I don't know if you know this, Bushy. I'm somewhat famous in certain circles for being critical of Sergeant Pepper. It's actually not one of my favorite
You are.
albums. Yeah,
You are?
Good.
I generally
garbage.
don't like concept albums for the most part. There's a few exceptions, but Smile is something different. I think you'll appreciate it, especially if you do love Pet Sounds, because it's just a lot of atmosphere and mood, and
Nice.
to me, it's deeper. It's deeper than Sergeant Pepper. It's a
Now,
deep,
I'm,
and it's very
Edwin,
American.
Edwin, I'm sorry. So was it the record company that chopped Smile, or was it Brian Wilson that just
Brian
straight
himself.
just went a different direction?
Kind of like what
Brian-
happened with Prince in the late 80s.
Yeah, it was Brian himself. The drugs, he was doing a lot of drugs, and now the band themselves, like Mike Love and stuff, were kind of negative about it. But ultimately, the buck stopped at Brian. Brian was like, eh, and then he rethought it and did the songs in a different way with a subsequent album called Smiley Smile, which is cool. I really like Smiley Smile too. I did videos about this, but that's more of a low key kind of stoner album. Whereas Smile's like LSD, like it's LSD and it's ambitious and it has like, session musicians and all that stuff. Whereas Smiley Smile is low key, the band themselves actually playing, and it's like got more of a stoner vibe. It's a cool record, but it's like totally different. It's like
Yeah, I'm gonna check this one out because I'm really, really intrigued by that. Because Pet Sounds was weird for the Beach Boys. I mean, that was
Yeah,
just
it was.
well, this is like
think about all the
next-
surf stuff they were doing leading up to it. That was weird, and I think it's a genius record that doesn't get mentioned enough in the metal community that I tend to hang out in. That I tend to associate with. So yeah, I'm gonna check that record out, man.
Cool, awesome. Yeah,
I've always
I have
been-
never heard that title. I know nothing about this album. I'm excited.
but
I've always
it's
been.
if Good Vibrations, like Good
Yeah.
Vibrations, like picture a whole album with that style of production.
Oh, that's insane.
I've always been so fascinated by albums that got aborted. So like Smile or The Who Lighthouse.
Yeah,
Um,
Lighthouse is another one.
Frank Zappa, some of the Andy just held up yesterday on Blacksmith, the Leather album
Leather.
that became Zappa in New York, and all like some of the albums that came out after that.
Rebirth,
And then
stuff
of
like that.
course,
Like
Prince in the late
Prince,
80s
Crystal
with
Ball.
Crystal Ball,
Dream
and
Factory,
Camille, Dream Factory,
like how many
the-
Prince albums?
the Black album that got released later.
Of course.
Just so many great I've always been so fascinated by like the creative process.
Have you made playlists of like?
Oh
Because
yeah,
I've made because like most of the stuff has been released. Like
yes,
every track now from Prince has been
yes,
released. So
yeah. Now,
you can
especially with the
actually
Sign of the Times
go and
box set,
make.
yeah.
Yeah, so I've actually made like the playlist. God,
I've
Camille's
I've
really
I
good.
found I found years ago somebody that like had made Camille that you could like download as an album.
Camille's so
Or
good, so great. That's
Eddie, am I
that's
not
probably my favorite.
subscribed to your YouTube channel? What's your YouTube channel?
Me, it's just my name,
yeah,
Edwin Cannistraci. Edwin Cannistraci. That's right. That's how I say it.
um, I I've deep dived into some of Edwin's YouTube videos. I loved his series on the Beatles with
They're great.
Paul is Dead,
They're great.
Mythos, and
Well,
I'm
since
gonna
you're
have to
Bushy,
check
if
it
you like
out.
the Beach Boys, check out. I do a Beach Boys one where I break down all their albums from like 64 to like 67, and I do it culminates with Smile. I talk about Pet Sounds and shit like that. So you might dig that.
I might be
So,
subscribed to you, and I just haven't watched in a while.
It's
I'm
all
gonna
right,
check
Bushy. I
stuff out.
assumed you already were subscribed. I didn't know you didn't subscribe to me. It's all right.
I
I
may
had you
do.
on my podcast, but you still didn't subscribe me.
see, I'm one of the 200
Jerk.
people that watched the Miles Davis video. Like
It's all right. It's all right. Just
you know,
subscribe now.
now I kind of want to check. I'm like, yeah, am I subscribed to this guy?
I prefer a subscription because you subscribing because you generally are interested. Then there's obligation.
Well, yeah, I want to hear.
So this
I'm
means more.
subscribed
It
to
means more if you
everybody
subscribe
on
now.
here.
No, you like Edwin. You are genuinely one of my favorite
Your
guys
name
when you
pops right
when you
up.
say
I've
stuff.
got to be subscribed. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not. Look at that. What a dirtbag I am now.
It's all right.
All right, let's get to your number
But yeah, I
four.
did like 3 Beach Boys videos because I'm a
Let's
big.
get-
Edwin,
Can't
you know,
Wait to check your
Brian,
stuff out, brother.
Thank you. I
so
appreciate
when
it.
Brian Wilson released Smile, is that the same thing, or is
It gets a little complicated. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a version
got
he
Smile.
did. There's a version he did which is decent, but I don't really consider it legit. He did it with
Right.
he re-recorded it with his touring band.
Right, like in the
And-
90s?
Yeah, then there was a year or two later, there was a box set, this ultra deluxe box set, which I bought. And that version has within the box set a final finished version using the original tapes, the original.
No shit. Okay.
That's the more legitimate version, in my opinion.
Okay.
That's the one to listen to. Like, it's not entirely completed. Like, there's a few songs that don't have finished vocals and stuff, but I still think that's the better one to listen to because you're actually hearing the 60s Beach Boys. And it's close. It's like about 90% finished.
Okay.
And so I prefer that one than the recreated version with the band later on. But,
Yeah.
generally,
So
I don't
what
like
year
when they-
should I look for this particular album? Without
I'm
having,
sure it's on Spotify, but I would say I'll send you a link because I'll send you a link. You're on,
If
you're on
you want to look it
Messenger on
up,
Facebook.
yes.
if you look it up,
I'll
it's
send you a
probably
link. I'll make sure you get the right one because
it's probably on
it's a
Spotify.
little
As,
complicated.
if you
So
look,
I'll make
I
sure
think
you
it's
get the right
probably
one.
on Spotify as the
Yeah.
Smile Sessions is probably
Yeah, and
what
I
it's
got like
underneath.
sending the right, but that's like a 5 disc thing, so I gotta
That's
make
true.
sure. Yeah, I don't want him just listening like the bits and pieces. I'll send you the right thing.
Yeah. Send me the yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
It'll
Andy,
blow your
you're
mind.
Andy, you're number 4.
Yeah, my number 4 is going to be Tom Petty, American Girl.
Nice.
Nice. Good song.
Bushy.
Good song.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go a little metal on this one. I know most everything I've done has been in a country vein. I actually saw these guys perform this song with members of the 10th Mountain Division who were on stage, and it's Drowning Pool Soldiers.
I saw them play that live
is one of
last
those
year.
bands that I have seen several times. 5. For a while there, during the Iraq War, they had visited and played for the troops more than any other artist, up to that point. Like I said, I saw them at a USO show. That's why I hate Candlebox so much, because they showed up late and they sucked.
Yeah.
But Drowning Pool, man, they killed. And this is a song strictly about the military, paying homage to the United States Army. And everyone, different branches have different stupid grunts, they say. The Marines say "oorah," the Army it's always "oosha" or "hua." In the Drowning Pool, they'll say "hua," yeah, this is for the soldiers. It's just total homage to them. I think the Air Force says, "Where's the air conditioning?" And the Coast Guard, I think their cheer is, "The water's too deep." I think that's the way that works. but it's a great song, great homage to the United States Army. Like I said, I'm a patriot. I'm a veteran. I grew up in the military. My family's been serving this country since the revolution. So yeah, Drowning Pool Soldiers off their fourth album. Man, there's a lot of good stuff on that. 32 Stitches is a great tune. A lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah, when I saw them live last year, they played both of those songs.
Oh man, they're awesome. I've seen them with their first four singers, because the first guy obviously OD'd and died. Second guy lasted an album. That third guy lasted for 3 or 4 albums. Fourth guy was good. Now they got another singer. I haven't seen them with this cat yet.
I think the current singer is one of the old singers.
Oh, nice. What if it's the guy from the second record?
I think it is.
If you're going to step up, you're going to get knocked down. That's pretty American too, if you ask me.
Yeah, the guy that they have right now sang with him from 2005 to 2011. So he was on their like third and fourth album.
Okay, cool.
So I think he's the one.
That's the guy that I saw that did Soldiers.
Yeah, he's the one that sang on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's awesome. I love that band.
All right, so I get to my number 4, whatever he was called then, John Cougar Mellencamp, whatever.
John Mellencamp, whatever name is.
Whatever his name was. Johnny Cougar, Pink Houses. Ain't that America for you and me? I love that song.
Good too.
I know it's not like a rah-rah America song, but it's a great fucking song.
It talks about Americana.
We talked about Americana. It's fucking great.
There's that little son of a gun. Made an appearance.
Nice. So then I get to Jerry's number 4. He picked "You Could Still Rock in America" by Night Ranger, which I took that song off my list because 2 people picked this on 2 lists. And then Scribble picked Kid Rock, American Badass. Is number 4.
Didn't he already pick that?
No, Mark made it.
I went
Mark
out.
was so
made the
stuck on YouTube, he
mistake.
couldn't
That's
read.
right.
I went out of order because I've
The
been
Undertaker, Motorcycles, Kid Rock. That's way better than Metallica could have imagined that song would have ever been.
I love the Undertaker, but no.
You're number 3, Joseph.
Dude, that's such a boring, monotonous. Oh, that riff goes nowhere. I hate it. Kid Rock made it cool.
Tough.
I do love that Undertaker has been using it the past few years again. I do think
Is
that's pretty cool.
Is that the stupid cat on your shoulder? The one?
Yeah, this is the one that was chasing his tail. This is Slayer.
You're number 3, Joseph.
Well, I'm going to go across the pond here for a little bit of Supertramp, Breakfast in America.
Fucker!
I was thinking of that one, actually.
Asshole!
I know I am, Mark. Thank you.
You are an asshole. I didn't think anybody picked that song.
I love that song. Great song.
But I didn't think you guys would pick that.
I was thinking
it has the word
I'm
America.
still going to keep it, but I didn't think anybody pick it.
Great album.
Great album, yeah.
Yeah, that whole record's awesome. Great song.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So Eddie, you're number 3.
Okay, I'll try not to be too long-winded. It's a little complicated. Sorry. Apologies. Okay, it's Bob Dylan. Listen, Bob Dylan's one of these guys where, like, I don't know, half his catalog's about America. So, not always directly, but yeah, he's big. I made some videos about him too, and I talk about how he's like the great American artist because to me, he represents all sides of America. And the thing about Bob Dylan, I don't want to get too political, but he's someone that I've noticed online. Like both sides like to take him, and they like to take his words. And it's like you could take any Bob Dylan lyric from any time period and grab it and use it to justify like your politics and say, look, he's on our side. And then the other side could do the same. He's essentially been everything. He's been like a radical leftist. He's been a Christian conservative. He's been across the board. He's
apolitical.
He is actually apolitical, and he was even apolitical on the early so-called like protest albums, as he said even in the time period. He said it's like, hey, I was just speaking out against something I thought was wrong. That's it. I wasn't like
opinion.
Yeah, I wasn't like part of a party or anything. I was just giving an opinion that I thought that blacks should have freedom and like human beings. It was pretty basic stuff, but. Very early on, there was this kind of thing where there was a certain, essentially, Democratic Party kind of wanted to take Bob Dylan and kind of turn him into what, like, eventually Bruce Springsteen or like Bono became. And Bob Dylan didn't want that. That's not who he was. He was more individualistic. He was not political, and he very quickly moved away from that. However, he still kept talking about America, just not in political terms, but more in cultural terms. And to me, his greatest statement, a little like and it's again it's interesting because it's not really an album that was it wasn't an album that was released when he recorded it, and wasn't even really meant to be released. But the Basement Tapes to me is his great statement about America. Half of it is covers, old folk songs and rock and roll songs and blues songs, and his interpretations of it, but also amazing original songs that he wrote too, which the band did a couple covers of it. But anyway, the song I'm picking is a little offbeat, quirky song called Clothesline Saga. To me, I'm picking this song because, and it was first released on a kind of half-ass version of the Basement Tapes with Bob Dylan and the band that was released in the mid 70s that had like only a fraction of the songs. But there were some great songs on that, and this was one of them. Clothesline Saga, to me, it has this kind of quality. It sounds like old America from like the 30s and 40s, and it tells a story of a little boy that's like hanging a clothesline for his family, and some guy that lives nearby, like they're rural people, and some guy lives nearby and tells them that the vice president went crazy in town, and they're like, oh well, we'll just keep on doing our thing. What can we do about it? And it's a very subtly funny satire about people maybe not getting involved, but it's in like things that are going on in the world. But you're watching out for you and your family and just doing what you got to do. Like that's the hanging the clothes. That's what's important right now. We can't change the things that are going on with the government. And I felt like it was Bob Dylan expressing his own issues and his becoming apolitical. It was like saying like, all this shit's going on. I just want to live, because at the time it tracks with where he was living in Woodstock and starting a family and kind of stepping away from all that. So I think there's a little self-deprecation in it. There's a lot of things going on. And I think with Bob Dylan, like I said, with Alice Cooper, is that there's this kind of like satire about America, but also love for the country. And you get a sense of Bob Dylan. Maybe he wasn't the biggest fan of the government, but he loved the country, and like Mark Twain used to say, you love the country, not the, but not the government, And so that's where Bob Dylan was coming at. It's a great little ditty. I always am very amused by it. And to me, it's kind of the heart of the Basement Tapes in a lot of ways, in the sense that it's capturing a kind of plucky, individualistic spirit of America that is kind of, you could say, oh, you're out for yourself, but ultimately, I feel like people that are kind of out for themselves are kind of going to cause less trouble for other people. You're just on your own, doing your own thing, instead of all these people trying to get fucking involved in everyone else. And that's something that I think is not only uniquely American, but I think important, and something that I think people should, not to get political, but I just think Americans need to focus more on Americans and our own issues, and not get so caught up in everything else that's going on in the world. And we need to come together as a fucking country and stop being bunch of fucking crybabies fighting amongst each other. That's what
I could not agree more, sir.
I agree.
There you go. Cheers.
Andy, you're number 3, man.
Hey, Ed, you saw Bob Dylan like a month or 2 months ago. How was he?
Look, he's a very elderly man, and he's pretty much just sitting behind a piano at this point.
Okay.
But it's a cool set list. He had a cool band. They did a song from Nashville Skyline, which I loved.
Yeah.
And it's still the presence. It's just cool to be in the presence of him.
Right.
Like it was just cool to be in the presence of Bob Dylan.
Right.
So,
I saw him back in 2000. I'm going again on Sunday to see him. So I was
he's not going to be like the way you saw him before,
Okay. All right.
But it's still cool to be in his presence, and
Right.
I just have a lot of respect for him, as not just as a songwriter, but as a human being,
Right.
and as an American icon, and as a very unique person. And like I said, I'm all about like I guess we say rugged individualism, and like Bob Dylan was kind of all about that.
Right.
And that's like that's something that a lot of people, everyone acts like everyone should jump in on the crusade, and that's what was going on in the 60s. It was a very political time, and everyone was like getting critical of Bob Dylan. Like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you saying this?
Right.
And with a song like Clothesline Saga, I think in his own little cheeky, self-deprecating way, he's saying like, nah, I got to do laundry right now. Fuck off. You know? It's
And
like,
the thing is that you're so right, because if you listen to his songs, even in the early 60s, he wasn't trying to lead anything. He was just giving his own point of view.
yeah, he was
And
just noticing
and the
shit.
media just goes crazy. I mean, the media goes crazy about any little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And he
everybody
clearly, as a very young man,
politicizes. Everyone politicizes Dylan. I've never thought he was great as a vocalist. As a vocalist,
Yeah.
as a musician, as a songwriter,
Whew.
even though, yeah, sometimes he might sing things I don't agree with, but like you said, Eddie, there's things he sings that I'm like, hey, yeah, that's my guy. As a songwriter, the man's an absolute genius, and yeah, he's an American icon. I have nothing negative to say about Bob Dylan except his vocals aren't great.
Yeah.
well, they aren't acquired
would
taste.
you
He had a
say-
period. He had a country period where he actually started to sing. And the funny thing, if you ever listen to Nashville Skyline, that he does that duet with Johnny Cash, it's beautiful. Girl from the North Country. You won't know it's Bob Dylan if you heard it. If you heard like Lay Lady Lay, like there's a lot of songs where he actually could sing he had a very nice country croon. Funny thing is, they wanted to hear him sound in the more traditional Bob Dylan way, so he
that old
went back
folky
to-
way he was doing.
Yeah, because that became kind of his trademark. So
He
which
got
was
mad
kind
at him
of
when
a
he picked
put
up an electric guitar, for God's sake.
Johnny's in the basement mixing up
Yeah,
the medicine.
people
with
liked that
kid,
Dylan.
you know
They
what
liked
you
that.
did?
But he himself actually was a more trained vocalist than people realized.
Yeah.
That in
See, I didn't
itself-
even know that, because I just think, I think back to that scene in that movie, The Doors, where Jim Morrison doesn't want to sing. Val
Yep.
Kilmer, who did all the vocals in that movie, by the way, what an amazing talent Val Kilmer was. But what is it? Ray Manzarek, the guy
Yeah, he
playing
does the whole
Derek.
joke.
He's like, you can sing. Look, everyone loves Bob Dylan, and that's
Gotta sing
exactly
better
how
than
I've
Dylan.
thought of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I've thought of Dylan my entire life.
I
But
kinda
as
think
an American poet,
Yeah.
if you take all the music away as an American poet, that guy's an icon. He's up there with Hemingway. He's up there with Mark Twain as far as writing goes. The man is just a genius, and I'm going to have to check that out. What was that track?
It's called Clothesline Saga. It's the Basement Tapes, which is kind of like the smile for Bob Dylan. It's this long winding thing.
Clothes as in THES, not as in wrestling.
Yes. Yeah, I would actually recommend though the Bob Dylan band one, because that's kind of a nice concise double album, and it's got a nice mastering job and stuff like that.
I don't care about that. I'm not a
This
production
one right
guy.
here, the album cover's going to look like that.
Yeah, listen, that just Bob Dylan and the band, the songs on that. It's a good, and there's some great tracks on it. Going out for Poco.
Well, I wrote down Basement Tapes too. Just check that out as well.
Yeah, Basement
Clothesline Saga. I had to write. Okay, are we Chris Jericho? What are we doing here?
Yeah,
All right,
but I like the original version of North Country Girl off of Freewheelin'. I just love that version.
I love both versions. It's nice, I really.
Man,
I
this guy, I've
Nashville
gotta find
Skyline. If you like old school country, I don't know if you like old school country, Bushy. But yeah, he had a country period.
Grew
And
up on it.
Nashville Skyline, beautiful album, and that has some of his best singing. So I definitely recommend that. And the song "Lay Lady Lay," amazing.
Nashville Skyline.
Yeah, Nashville Skyline.
Nashville Skyline.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
just
right.
a great late 60s country album, and you'll be surprised how well Dylan sings that. Yeah.
Dylan is
Yeah,
amazing.
this one right here.
Yep.
Nashville Skyline.
Yeah, that's actually one of my personal favorite Dylan albums.
I've actually seen that photo. I might have seen that album
Yeah.
before, or just thought, Dylan.
Yeah, you recorded it in Nashville. Yeah.
Nice.
All right,
With
Andy.
Nashville All-Star Band, pretty much.
Andy, you're number 3, man.
And the songs are very short. They're about 2 to 3 minutes tops.
Oh
On
yeah,
the
they're just
album.
like straightforward country songs.
Yeah.
He was like purposely being very simple on it. He just wanted to write kind of simple love songs. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. I'm going to go with, it's already been mentioned, but I've always loved Simon and Garfunkel and America The song America is great. I love the way it's delivered. It's just greatly written. I thought Paul Simon was a fantastic writer as well in his own right. So Simon Garfunkel, America.
All
Nice.
right, Bushy, your
And
number
also,
three.
I'm watching roller derby, and I don't understand the rules and how they score this. It's a very weird game. It's a very weird sport.
All right,
It is.
Bushy,
I
your
think it's
number
the
three.
woman that elbows the other woman. They
I
just
don't know.
I don't know.
Their titties are the biggest. I don't know, but it's very weird.
My number three has actually already been mentioned. Ray Charles, America the Beautiful. I can't think of a better recorded version of that song. And come on, Ray Charles, another American icon. What a soulful, beautiful voice. What a great piano player. What a tragic life that ended up being great. I absolutely love it. My next three songs are just straight patriotism. No more military. It's just straight patriotism coming up.
Nice. And I go to my number three. I did have America by Neil Diamond, but everybody picked that. So I had to go by A Disillusion of America. Hotel California by the Eagles. It's like you could check out, but you could never leave. I ain't leaving California. I get those
I
lyrics.
thought of that. I just thought it was very specific to California, so that's why
Yeah,
I
but
did.
it's an American song. It's an American it's a disillusionment of America. Even though they're talking about California, it's about the whole country if you think about it.
I thought it was
No,
more
but
about show business, but yeah.
California is its own world. It seems like
I
sometimes.
mean, I thought about L.A. Woman, but I was like, no, that's specifically
I
LA.
almost picked LA one, but Hotel California is like you can stab
It's
it
all
with their
right. I
steely
thought of
knives,
it.
but you
I
could
It's a great song. I love the song.
It's
I,
all. I'll allow it, Mark.
it's like Hotel California. It's about a state
Barely, just
of
barely.
America.
I'm just being
They're
nice to
talking
this
about
show.
it's
So
not just about I'm just thinking it's not
I'm
just
surprised nobody's picked Johnny Cash. I've been everywhere.
but it's just not about California. It's about America. The
I'm
song
all
is
right,
surprised.
all right. You
Americana.
think it's about America? I think
I
it's
think
about
it's
show
about
business in California. But anyway, that's me.
I think it's about
I was
everything in
like-
America. But you're number two, Joseph.
You didn't do Jerry's
Oh, I
again.
gotta do Jerry. Fuck
Come
that
on,
guy.
come on, Mark.
Jerry is
Get with
scribble.
it.
He put America the Beautiful by Ray Charles.
Great. See, me and Jerry are on point.
And shit. Well, I'm on number three for him, right? Yeah, number
Yes.
three. Oh, number three. I fucked up. Sweet Madam Blue Sticks is the number three.
You could have just had that at number two instead, Mark.
Oh,
I could have
gross.
picked, but he did number them, so I can't fuck it up. But and then Scribble picked Dean Martin Houston. I don't know that song by Dean Martin. I do love
I
Dean
know. I
Martin.
like some D Martin. I got like a greatest hits. I don't know
Yeah,
that.
Dean
song.
Martin's cool.
Yeah, very
So
casual fan.
I didn't go after songs that were named after cities or anything like that.
That would be an interesting show, though.
Yeah, I feel like that's another show.
That's a
Yeah,
different
that's
show.
a show for
he
sure.
picked Dean Martin Houston. So you're number two, Joseph.
All right. Well, Andy already picked it, and I did pick it last week, but I have to include this song just because I think it's about a very important topic, and that is Kansas Song for America, off of their Song for America album. It's about the misuse of natural resources, about keeping America viable as a place to live for future generations. Just treating this land that we've been gifted with respect, treating the land with love, and yeah. So it's also an amazing Kansas song. So Song for America.
What's your number three,
Nice.
Edwin?
A song that Joseph already picked. Now this is my other
Number two, Mark.
Number two.
Number two. This is number two. It's the other Alice Cooper song. Yes, the one from Dada. Yes, I Love America. Was almost considering it number one, but I decided to go with another song. But yeah, it's great. We already discussed it a lot. The lyrics are really clever and funny. Thing too, it's like this is a song, especially if you were listening to it then in the 80s, during the Reagan era. I'm sure everyone just interpreted it like it was just a big piss take, that he was just being funny and satirical and making fun of Americans. But obviously, when Alice's politics start to emerge more and people start to learn more about him, it's kind of obvious now that that's not the case. It was more complicated than that, and it's like you can kind of have a fun go at something but it's like the way you bust balls, like the way we all bust each other's balls, or you bust balls with your brother and stuff like that. And you realize, again, kind of like what I was saying about the last Dylan song, there's self-deprecation. And if you actually even watch interviews during the blackout period, even though looks weird as shit and he's like all fucked up on drugs, he says really clever, witty things, you know? And if you watch the interviews, and it's like you get like, and a lot of stuff that he's making fun of on this song are things he really does like, he's into. And he does love America, and he does love a lot of this stuff. And but he's just got a sense of humor about it. It's kind of like he gets how Americans could be really loud and obnoxious and braggadocious. And you know what? Fuck it. I love that. Like, he's embracing that. So it's satire, but it's satire done with true affinity. And that's the complexity of Alice Cooper as an artist and this song. And it's a song that is both at the same time making fun of America and embracing it for real at the same time. At least that's my interpretation of it. And it makes sense with everything else I know about Alice Cooper. And that's kind of how I feel about America. So I feel like me and Alice Cooper got kind of a similar vibe about America, and a similar take on it. And, you know, it's both like worthy of criticism, but also better than most countries. And that's kind of how I see it. And I love the vibe of this show, by the way, because I'm getting that vibe from everyone here. It's a very real patriotic show, and not like bullshit patriotism, not blind patriotism.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah,
but real patriotism about the country, and with all of us having slightly different points of views on things and stuff like that. Maybe even less.
What a great. I'm trying to think of what the word is I'm looking for, but these five people, we all have different ideas. You know, some of our values are the same, some are different, but we all, man, we're all showing what America is right now. You know, and that's the great thing about this country. And Jello Biafra, Dead Kennedys, and this song almost made my list. Stars and Stripes of Corruption almost made my list, because he says this great line: "I'm thankful I live in a place where I can say the things I do without being taken into the street and shot." That's what makes this country so great, man. That First Amendment, defended by the Second, is an amazing, amazing thing, because we're allowed to say whatever we want. And the bottom line is, we all come together. We all find common ground. If you stay away from the media, we're
media makes the country look far more divided.
Get along. We're just trying to live, man.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, I've been around the world. This is the best place to live.
All right. Andy, you're number 2, man.
With that being said, my favorite song is off the Rock. No, my number 2 is off the Rocky IV soundtrack. James Brown, Living in America.
I've got to have a celebration. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, fuck it.
Fucking Apollo Creed comes out.
Great song, man. Great song. Ow!
Damn it, Andy. I was going to go to bed after this show, but
yeah, James Brown.
Out of all these songs, that's going to put me to sleep tonight.
All right, Nate, you're number 2, man.
Nation. Yeah. God, that's good. Mine, look, I will admit this song has been overplayed today. I will admit that this guy's divisive simply because of who he comes out and sings for. But you weren't living in Germany in the 80s on a military base when this song came out. You weren't in the midst of the Cold War. You know, you weren't there when, you know, Reagan bombed Gaddafi and I was having to rush out of my elementary school doing bomb raid drills and such. You know, I lived that. Lee Greenwood, God Bless the USA. I know it's overplayed.
Great song.
But my Lord, what a great song. What an homage to America. What love for the country. And when you see 1, 2, 3,000 soldiers and their families, fists in the air, singing this song, man, I'm goosebumping now. It's an amazing track. It represents everything that is good in this country. It represents everything that is great. We have every climate you could want in this country. I watch a TikToker from the UK who defends this country ridiculously because people say, "Oh, well, most Americans don't even have passports," and he's like, "Well, because you could drive 10 hours and be in a completely different climate. Every state has its own culture. It has its own vibe.
Really
it has
does.
its own thing. This is the
Yeah.
greatest country in the
It
world."
takes like 10 hours to drive through Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the exception of Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what the hell? You
Texas
can probably
does
fit the
have
UK in Texas.
Doesn't Texas have 3 different time zones?
No, it's all one time zone, but Texas
Yeah.
does have a Gulf Coast. Then we do have a big forestry. We've got a desert, and
I'm just
got
messing with you, Andy. I know.
and we've also got mountain cap.
So does California. California
Hey,
has
when
the
you
beaches,
when you
the
first
mountains,
drive
and the
into
snow.
Texas, there's even like some greenery. It's not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Everyone thinks desert.
Climate wise, Texas is practically its own country.
It is.
Absolutely.
oh well,
And
it's not just some trees. We got forestry and hill
Yeah.
country.
California
part of the
just
country.
have all that also. So
But what Bushy says is true. Like we got so much. Hey, it goes back to the Chuck Berry song where he says, "Everything you want is in the USA."
It really is, yeah.
Like there's so much, you know.
I mean,
and yeah, it's
it
not
might take you
perfect, no
3.5
country is,
days
but-
to travel across it, but you'll go through like 47 different climates.
and all the different people and cultures and the freedom to say what you want, and that's an important thing, and that's something that unfortunately, you know, as times change and governments and corporations get more and more control, there's going to be less and less of that, and that's something to fight for. That's the most important thing to fight for, I think, is people expressing themselves and saying what they believe, and that is something that people don't realize you really just can't do in a lot of countries, you know.
no,
That's real talk.
Yeah,
That's real
and
talk.
what's really cool is that I can drive 2 hours east and hit Louisiana, and it's a completely different world from Texas.
Yeah.
It's a whole different vibe, a whole different way of talking, a whole different food, a whole different culture. 2 hours from my house.
Yeah,
If
and
I
I
go
mean,
I
to
can
people
drive
all
to
around
San
it, you know.
Francisco from here, and it's way different too.
Americans
San
might
Diego
be
is way
loud and
different, too.
obnoxious, but we're also more well-rounded because
Yeah.
we're not just all up our own ass of our own little micro culture that we've been living in for centuries and centuries and
Right.
centuries. And listen,
I'm just saying,
I do think
all
there's
these
nothing wrong
countries are
preserving
jealous
culture,
of America.
But
All these
there is something about when you know people talk about America being in a bubble. Well, I feel like there's a bunch of other countries that are just in their bubbles.
Yeah,
America's actually the
it's
one that's
like
loose and
every
free.
one of these,
and
every one of
broad.
these countries in the world would love to own America. Just saying that.
Yeah,
Even if you
that's
look
why
at-
Bono wishes he was American.
He wishes
Never be.
Bono
He'll never
loves
be American.
America. Bono,
we don't want him.
But
Bono
he knows deep
loves
down inside,
America.
he knows he's
Bono
not
loves
cool enough.
America, man.
We don't want him.
He loves America, though.
Port to port, Bono.
Fuck you. Bono rules. He loves America, man.
But no,
Yeah,
God bless
he loves
USA.
himself a little bit more. Though. So
I remember
that's
when
wrong.
this song dropped, and I just remember the impact it had. And look, admittedly, I grew up on military bases, and at least then, I don't know what the military is like now, although I know recruitment numbers are up now. I know that at that time, the American military man or woman and the American military family was hyper patriotic. I will never not love this song. It's played out as it is. I will never skip it. I will never change the channel. It just does something to me. And it could be recapturing that youth, being in a foreign country with nothing but Americans around you when you're surrounded by nothing but, you know, people in their country. You know, it was Germans everywhere, but in this little area, this was us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's one of the greatest. It's not the greatest patriotic song. And Mark, I'm sorry, I didn't do the American song. I did the patriotic songs because of what you said first.
That's fine.
Hands down, one of the best.
Yeah, I got that on a 45, and that came out just a little bit after USA for Africa.
Yes,
because the Omar Gaddafi, I think that was in '86.
Mm-hmm.
And when that was happening, it was all over the news. You watched that in the evenings.
Yeah, we were doing air raid drills because we were so afraid because Germany's so close to Libya.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were afraid that there was going to be retaliation. So we were actually doing air raid drills where we were evacuating the schools because the housing area we lived in. And if you've never been overseas, man, military housing at the time, they weren't houses and nice apartments. It was almost like Soviet bloc apartment building is what they look like. But every basement of these buildings were nuclear rated. They were fallout shelters. So we would evacuate the elementary school at Patrick Henry Village in Heidelberg, Germany, and run in an orderly fashion, of course, because back then everything was orderly. There wasn't panic. But you would run, you know, or at least move out at a high rate of giddy up, is the way they say it in the Army, to these basements. And every classroom and every wing of the school had a specific building it would go to. Those are the things I lived through, which is why I'm probably hyper patriotic today, because people that have never left this country and have never grown up in other countries, they don't understand these other things that happen in the world. You only see it on this screen. It's much, much different when you live it, when you experience it. And songs like this really, really spoke to us as a people. And I think, you know, I'm sorry that Lee Greenwood came out and sang it at the parade everyone's mad about. It's an important song to me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, I've always loved that song. I haven't heard it in a long time. I think I'm gonna spin it because I do got the 45 to that. I do.
Oh, that's awesome. That old 45. That's great.
Yeah.
All right, so I get to my number 2, and
It's not going to be as good as mine.
Maybe not. Probably not.
Better not be you two again. You're fired.
American Girl by Tom Petty, so I picked Free Falling because she's a good girl, loves her mom.
What?
Loves horses and America too.
Oh, we can do that.
You know, she loves America. You know, I love the
fucking. You're reaching on that one, sir.
But people pick. He talks about America in that song.
No, Bushy. Hotel California was a reach. Free Falling is a desperate grasp.
Well, he talks about America. You know, he talks about
once,
but he talks about Ventura. I don't know. But
where's Ventura? California?
Yeah, California. We're talking about states.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Whatever. Tom Petty rules.
Cheap Trick's California Man.
Well, that wasn't their song, no. That wasn't the move. That was the move. But Free Falling is a great song. He talks about she's a good girl, loves her mama, and America too. You know, that's a great song.
It's a good
Tom
song.
Petty is America.
It's a great song. Not for this list.
It's a great song, but let's get to Jerry. He is number 2. America the Beautiful, Ray Charles.
See, that's a beautiful, beautiful song.
I've already mentioned that for him, though.
Did I?
Because he messed up earlier.
I fucked up.
Oh, okay.
And then Scribble picks POD, Youth of the Nation. Great song. I like that song. And then we get to our number 1.
Number 1.
Joseph.
All right.
Well, when I made this list was not in order except for this one song. This song, I think, no matter what anyone has to say about America, I think perfectly encapsulates everything that is great about America, the resilience of America. As a history person, this is a song that talks about the history of America. And of course, written by one of the great American songwriters, and that is from the great Johnny Cash, "Ragged Old Flag."
Nice.
Just
nice one.
A phenomenal track. If you don't know this song, I implore you highly to go listen to the song, but also to look up the lyrics, because I think it is just a fantastic. It came out at the height of the Watergate scandal, and Johnny Cash in interviews said that he thought that America needed a little bit of a pick me up, almost. This new era that we were moving into kind of got covered in scandal and corruption, and so Johnny Cash wrote a song about, hey, we've been here before, but we're going to keep moving on. The way that I just want to read the last part of the song here. I could read the whole thing, but I'm not going to, because we've been on the show for almost 3.5 hours. But the last little stanza of this song So we raise her up every morning and we take her down every night. We don't let her touch the ground and we fold her upright. On a second thought, I do like to brag because I'm mighty proud of that ragged old flag. And I think that just really, to me, encapsulates everything that I feel about America. Like everyone said a couple minutes ago, no matter what you think about anything that's going on in this country, this is the greatest country in the world. I am proud every day to be living in this country, to have had the honor to be born in this country, to be able to get on a show like this and say what I want to, no matter how I feel about certain things, no matter how I feel about politics, anything else, that I have the constitutional right to get on this podcast and say anything that I want to, and that I, like you said, Bushy, don't have fear of getting dragged out into the street and shot.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of countries in this world, even to this day, where that is a thing, where that is a fear that people live with. And it's truly unfortunate. And every day, I think everybody should, if you live in this country, you should count your blessings that you live in this country, that you are not only have rights, but you have rights that are being defended every single day. And yeah, I love America. And I think that this song, Ragged Old Flag by Johnny Cash, perfectly encapsulates that.
It's a great pick. It's a great pick.
Very great pick.
All right,
I was thinking about it.
Great
I didn't
soliloquy, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's been a lot of good soliloquies going on here. I love the vibe that we got going on here.
Me too. This has been amazing.
The number one, Edwin.
I thought the show I recorded last night was my favorite. You know what? That was my favorite show I ever recorded. That was my show. This might be my favorite guest spot I've ever done. This has been a really, really fun show.
And it's the bullshit sessions, right? This is a free form.
I know, right?
BS sessions, yeah.
We're just here BSing.
It should have been free form because that's America's podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Oh God, I know. Just stop your nonsense. He does that just to get me.
Fuck the Cowboys, man.
My choice, I went for something kind of simple and straightforward and patriotic for my number one. And Andy beat me to it, though. He already did it. So, but I'm not shaking because I think it's the greatest song about America ever, written by one of the greatest entertainers ever of all time. Well, we didn't actually write it, but he fucking performed it, and he performed it like the great entertainer he is. James Brown, "Living in America."
Nice.
I mean, how can it not be living in America? It's so funky. Look. Bushy just dances thinking about it. That's how funky it is. And it's great. It's an amazing song. To me, this should be the national anthem. It could bring everyone together. Come on, how we all bring this? It's about the euphoria of patriotism, you know, and for the country, for the cities. He shouts all the cities and how lucky it is, you know, like things we've been saying, how fortunate, because James Brown's a man, he's traveled around the world, you know. Yep. And he knows, just like Chuck Berry, it's full circle. He knows that it's best here in America. And it's like almost, it's got like a lot of James Brown. It's funky. It's almost like a hint. It's gospel. It's got the gospel in it, you know? And I love it. It's great. It was also his last big hit. And it's great because it was a song that gave him a hit in the 80s. So he had bragging rights to say 3 decades of hits. And it's in fucking Rocky IV.
It's an important film. Yeah, a lot of people.
Rocky IV. What's more patriotic than Rocky IV?
Film was.
Did you guys like?
It was the biggest Rocky movie. Actually,
did you like the edited version where they took out the robot, where it's Rocky?
I got mixed feelings. I do. I talked. No. I have a Rocky video where I discussed this. Listen, I'm Italian American. I'm from Philly.
Stays.
I'm Italian American. I'm from Philly, so I got a lot of love for Rocky. Rocky's a great American story. It's a fable. Some people might be cynical of it because it's fictional, but it represents something. And especially if you're working class and you come from like the Northeast, especially, that's going to connect with you. The robot, listen, I don't know. I got mixed feelings. I mean, there are things I like about the original cut, but there are things I like that he did with the director's cut. I feel like there's a perfect version that's somewhere in the middle a little bit that we didn't get.
That's most directors' cuts, though.
Yeah. Well, except Highlander 1 and 2 were great director's cuts.
There's some cool shit though. If you're a fan of Rocky Four, I do recommend watching that director's cut. There's some cool. There was some great stuff left on the floor. I like Duke gets to the funeral scene. I think is stronger and more powerful, and Adrian's in it a little bit more, which feels right. You get a little Bill Conti stuff mixed in while still keeping all the famous cool synthy score stuff that everyone loves in Rocky Four, but just mixing in a little Bill Conti just so it doesn't feel totally disconnected, So it's got a little more of a Rocky 3 vibe, which I think is a good thing. But anyway, Living in America, this song was for that movie. It was written for Rocky 4, and he performs in it, and it's great. And yet Apollo dies, but man, he won out like a real American. That's another thing I like about the director's cut, because Apollo gets to fight a little bit longer, so he doesn't go out quite so easy, which I didn't like seeing in the theatrical cut. But anyway, because I love all these characters. I love all the Rocky characters. I love Apollo Creed. I love Rocky. I love Paulie. They are Americans. James Brown's an American. We're Americans. And I love living in America. So there you go. My number one.
All right, Andy, you're number one, man.
Happy birthday, Paulie. What the hell? Happy birthday, Paulie.
Love it.
My number one has already been mentioned by Mark. That's what you start off with. So that's what I'm going to close it off with. Jimi Hendrix, Star Spangled Banner. How can it be anything else? I love that version. I'm working on a project right now, and that's one of the songs that I had to download. And by God, I'm going to post that tomorrow. That's the first thing that popped into my head was this song, and I wasn't going to move it. It's going to be number one. Jimi Hendrix, who served for our country, and he came back, and a lot of his music is American music, and he fancied himself trying to be a guitar whiz, Bob Dylan type kind of guy, and
way better.
When he did the Star Spangled Banner, I'm talking about his songwriting. He wanted to write, wanted to write like Dylan.
He's an underrated songwriter.
Very underrated songwriter, and he tried to copy his hair. Just like Dylan off of Blonde on Blonde. That's where his hair style came from. And he was influenced by Dylan to be a better writer. That's what he wanted to be, was a better writer. But I think that he is really, even though a lot of us think that he's one of the greatest guitar players, he's still underrated for the other things that he did in songwriting and production. Yeah. And introducing more music and pushing everything forward. And he was only in the music biz as a leader of his band for 3 years. That's insane that we have all this music by him. But Star Spangled Banner is going to be my number one by Jimi Hendrix.
All right, Bushy.
Great choice.
Nice. I'm kind of in the same vein. Like I said, I went patriotism down the line. I also picked the Star Spangled Banner, Francis Scott Key. I did not pick Jimi Hendrix. I didn't want an instrumental. As amazing as that instrumental is, I think somewhere in there the acid kicked in with that guitar solo. I struggled with which version of this song I wanted to go with, because both versions I picked were a Super Bowl performance. I struggled because I think there are two that are unmatched, and that's Chris Stapleton. But edging him out was Whitney Houston.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that song has been sung any better. And I know there's always, we shouldn't do that at the sporting event. Shut up. Just shut up. It's America. We're going to do the national anthem. That's what we do.
We always have.
Whitney Houston gave the greatest performance of that song I've ever heard. And like I said, I struggle because Chris Stapleton, man, he killed it.
I like Chris.
He really killed it. But Whitney Houston is the greatest recorded version, much like Ray Charles with America the Beautiful. Whitney Houston, Star Spangled Banner. That's what I'll be posting tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'll probably have to follow it up with Chris Stapleton version because that was really good too.
But just to just to add a little bit to it, that was for the Super Bowl in the beginning of the first Desert Storm, right? This was in the early '90s, or was this early 2000s? I
That
No,
was
don't
the
remember
it was
90s.
exactly
definitely
when.
early '90s.
It was, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Whitney was gone. Crack is whack. She was gone by the 2000s, and then she
Bobby B.
passed. So
Oh, that voice was gone. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
yeah,
Because it was still very,
yeah. That
that high
that
octave.
was she did Star Spangled Banner. Man, it might have been late '80s because
Late
she was
80s, you're
still
right.
doing the I will always love you.
Well, that was like
Want to
92 or
dance with
93.
somebody. I mean,
Yeah, that was later on. So this must have been during Bush Senior time.
91.
yeah,
91. Okay.
yeah. One of the greatest American vocalists ever.
I agree with you on that.
I hate
It is.
saying male or female when it comes to this particular song. And you notice I struggle between the male and the female artists, the two that did it the best. But I can't think of anybody else in the history of hearing this song sung. I can't think of anybody that's done it better than Whitney. And come on, it's our national anthem.
I agree.
And she was
A guy
great
that
for
was
Red, White, and
watching
Blue.
the flag still standing there during the Revolutionary War. Come on, if that doesn't give you chills as an American, you're not understanding the country.
I still remember when that performance happened. It was the talk of the world the day after. It was
That was
amazing.
water cooler talk for the next week.
Yeah,
touching
really
on
was.
touching on what Andy said, just some historical input about it. It was 10 days after the start of the Gulf War.
Okay.
It was when that happened. It was also the first ever Super Bowl to be broadcast in Russia. The first ever Super Bowl to be broadcast in most of the Eastern Bloc countries.
Nice.
So it was a very important time. And also the fact that that was the first one that was ever broadcast in those countries, for that to be like, that was the moment.
That artist that's going to bring it. Oh man, powerful.
Yeah. And the wall coming down just a few years earlier.
Yeah, like literally, a year and a half earlier.
Yeah, a symbol of freedom for the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a great time. It really, really was.
It absolutely was. Why couldn't David Hasselhoff ever do the national anthem?
All right, man.
We couldn't have handled it. It would have been too much America.
Too much for us.
Much
Everybody's
America.
heads would have exploded.
Well, my number one, Joseph already said it. Breakfast in America, Supertramp. Take a jumbo to want to see America. And it's like an English band like talking about America. It's like so great. It's like an amazing song about English talking about coming to fucking America. It's a great fucking song.
Better than you two.
Fuck. Oh yeah, I put it as my number one, better than you too. So yeah, Breakfast in America is a great fucking song by an English band talking about how America rules. And I love that shit. And then we get to my number one song by Jerry, Star Spangled Banner, F. Scott Key. And
yeah, Francis Scott Key, he wrote it. I'm with him.
Yeah, and then Scribble picked Metallica, Don't Tread on Me.
Out the Black, yeah.
Out the Black album. So that was our episode, man. Songs with America in it, man. Thank you guys for being on here.
Far more patriotic than you might have thought it might.
But far more patriotic than we
one of the most fun episodes I've ever been on.
bleed American. Man. We bleed America. As as long as
good, bad, or ugly,
we
man.
we disagree, we don't agree, but we all love this country. And the thing is, people, stop fighting with each other. Start being together as one. Because it's stupid. We're Americans, man. We all bleed red, white, and blue. It's fucked up how you guys have divisions. It pisses me off. And Joseph, promote your shit, man.
Yeah. So it feels weird going off of this, like, yes, sir. But on to talking about this little stick show that me and Jerry do, but not nearly as important as any of the things we've talked about here tonight. But Jerry and I are a couple weeks into our Sticks channel on YouTube, Heavy Water 77. We're having a great time doing it. We have our episode on The Serpent is Rising coming out this weekend. Really having a great time doing this so far. Having some great response. Jerry and I on Tuesday night got to film an episode with Ralph Vieira for Almost Human, where we talked about all the Styx albums on that. That actually just premiered a couple hours ago on his channel because Ralph was seeing Blue Oyster Cult tonight. Hopefully he had a great time at that show. But if you love Ralph's stuff, check that out. We talk about our show on there. Check out our show, Heavy Water 77. Let us know what you want to see us talk about. We talk about everything Styx, and we're just having a really great time doing it. So thanks to everyone who's checked it out so far. We really appreciate it.
All right. Eddy, man, promote your stuff, man. I know you got.
Well, I'm not doing anything these days. I'm just waiting to move to Nashville. I'm working on some top secret screenplays, things I can't talk about, but there's some stuff going on in my life. And let's see, what can I talk about? My YouTube channel. There's that, the one that Bushy just finally subscribed to after knowing me for many years.
It's a new podcast.
What a scumbag.
I know, man. You suck,
Yeah.
Bushy.
It's new, Bushy. It's okay.
It's all right. You're a real American, so I'll forgive you.
I am a real American.
I'm surprised nobody picked
Why-
that.
why-
Don't pick that one. Why not? That's a great song. So the
A little bit of Rick Derringer.
yeah, unfortunately, my YouTube channel, because I'm kind of in a period now where there's a lot going on in my life right now, so I don't have time to really do the videos. But there's a lot of old videos to check out, and in the future, once I'm settled, once I'm moved, a couple months from now, I will start again in earnest, and I will start kicking ass and making cool YouTube videos again for both music and movies. I start doing movies as well. My biggest video is actually about Jaws, which doing really well, still doing well. Just
Hey,
got
tomorrow's July 4th.
I get the July 4th bounce because of that, and it's the 50th anniversary too, so that helps
Yes.
as well. It's like 180,000 views now, so it keeps
That's awesome.
keeps climbing and climbing, that Jaws video. I
It's
wish
July 4th, for God's sake.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm saying that's partially why. But that video was doing well even before then. That's my biggest video. So, and it's just me breaking down, describing one shot, one very short, fleeting shot of the movie. But that's like the cool thing about YouTube. That's the thing. Sometimes if you get very niche, especially if it's niche about something big that people like, but you talk about this one little thing that no one else talks about, then suddenly you can get more than 100,000 views. That's why I discovered.
I mean, look behind me here. That's right up my alley.
Well, you're doing it now, Sticks. You're going
Yes.
niche.
Yes, we
So,
are. Yes,
yeah,
we
go
are.
niche, and you can rise to the top. Maybe, but which is also kind of like America. You can go niche and you can rise to the top. There's a lot of opportunities. Just gotta grab. James Brown believed in that. That's another reason why I made him my number one, because he believed in the opportunities.
Should I get in a hot tub? What make me sweat? What make me wet? Oh, that's Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
But Andy, promote your shit, man.
Yeah, tomorrow I will be releasing an episode we worked on Black Spinner last night, where we picked one band from every state of the United States. All 50 states is represented by a band. I divided 10 states per each panelist, and they did a great job of just every state was represented. So it was a great time. I will release that tomorrow. And also check out Three Shots Down with me, Jerry, and Kate. We just put one out about the Rolling Stones and Altamont tragedy that happened in December of '69. We got that coming out. I'm gonna take I'm not gonna have a Black Spinner show next week. I'm gonna take a week off. I do that once a year, so I'm gonna be off next week, and then Al should be back from Portugal. So we'll see y'all then.
All right, Bushy, promote your stuff, man.
All right, yeah, the Plug Podcast. I released the audio version of the second half of the Black Sabbath discography or retrospective.
You guys did a great job on that.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
I love
Thanks.
that episode.
I gotta watch that or hear it.
Yeah,
The video version will drop tomorrow. Last night we recorded with Jared Miller. He's a very regional guy. He's fronting the Plum Hollow Band. If you've paid attention to my show at all, you hear how I talk about the Plum Hollow Festival, Moonshine Union. He talks a lot about Barney Barnwell, which is the guy that originally formed or was originally the leader of the Plum Hollow Band. He created the Plum Hollow Festival. There's a lot of cool information that's going to come out. You'll actually hear some Woodstock information, how Plum Hollow almost got sued. They got a cease and desist order thrown on them. There's a lot of good information there. You're going to hear some Plum Hollow music. Even though we're talking to Jared, they won't re-record any of the records. And I actually have all of them right here because I just did the darn show last night. And to say that I'm a fan, I would have to show you that I'm actually a fan. I've got their 5 CDs plus the vinyl release they did. Jared is working on getting all of their music up digitally. He's been slacking a lot. He recently left Dirty Grass Soul. He's been the drummer for them for 12 years, another band that I've spoke a lot about on my show. We didn't talk about them. He had to leave for some family issues. But yeah, look forward to that. Tuesday, the video will drop next Friday, and that's going to include some video footage of Barney Barnwell fronting the Plum Hollow Band at the Plum Hollow Festival, so you can get an idea how wild and crazy he was and how much fun it is. And then next week we have Jeff Allen from Cranium Radio. He's going to be coming on, so that episode will drop in 2 weeks from now. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on the plug, man. We're just hammering out episodes now. I don't know. We came back from Rocket Pod. We got a fire lit up underneath
Right
our
on. I love it.
Yeah. And Metal Mike is still trying to get me on the show.
Well,
I do. I got a couple.
I'm on that fucking Superman episode, by the way.
We'll get you on. And when I see Superman, you'll be on, Mark. Because
dude, I'm watching that the day after it comes out on Saturday. So I will be on there.
Wicked want to go see it. I don't know if I can make it happen. My daughter's not working right now. All the bills are kind of falling on me. So I don't know if I'm going to go see it in the theater. As soon as I see it, we will do an episode.
I'm seeing it in the theater as soon as it comes out. Fuck, I got my A-list AMC pass. I just saw Jurassic Park
I'm sorry.
Rebirth. It was really good, dude. Really good. I saw an AMC unseen screen, and I saw F1 was really good too with Brad Pitt. That was really
that good?
Oh, it was a fucking great movie.
At least
dude.
That's half-ass original. Jurassic Park has been done what?
Oh, the Jurassic Park was really good acting. And you know when a movie's good when people clap at the end? They clapped at the end of Jurassic Park.
California. Rebirth. I don't trust anything.
Oh, fuck you. But on the Freeform Rock
you
podcast,
like you too. How could I trust anything you do?
Oh, fuck you. On the Freeform Rock podcast tomorrow, we got the great Aaron Camaro from Decibel Geek Podcast and Brad Dahl, his debut. We're breaking his balls on the Freeform Rock podcast. We're doing Wednesday 13 what is it? Mid-death crisis. If you like Alice Cooper, you might like Wednesday 13. So check out that episode. It's really fucking good. We're doing that tomorrow. That's coming out tomorrow. And I even got a video for that. So I will release the video. I kept that shit because Eric Camaro was on there. I got to have the fucking video for that.
That's something I got to say this on this show too. We got a video editor now, and the last week's video and the video you're about to see tomorrow has all been handled outside. All I do is I record like this and then I send it off, and then I get back this next product. So in the first Black Sabbath retrospective, you see all this Black Sabbath stuff going across the bottom of the screen. We've got a new intro.
I like the old intro, by the way.
Thank you so much. What's that?
I like your old intro with you doing it, by the way.
Yeah, I like this one better.
I like your old intro.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. You just don't like the fact it's better.
No, I think your old intro was better. It's just, but your episodes are still great.
We're trying to build a channel, the YouTube channel, to get monetized. So
yeah, good luck with that.
Quality. Now, if I could get Metal Mike to quit cussing all the time, look, I don't know if anyone else knows. I just came back to Christ after 32 years of turning my back on it. I have cut out all the cussing You may have noticed it in this
I
episode.
still say fuck.
I didn't cuss once. It's not.
I didn't know. You said it's good. You got the vibe of someone that curses without cursing because I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I don't do it anymore. I've changed a lot, and this is just in. Well, the Plum Hollow Festival was the last weekend, the weekend before Memorial Day, and it was that easy to turn everything off. I got to get Metal Mike to quit cursing so much because YouTube frowns on that.
But the thing is, the cussing, as long as you're not pointing it at somebody, I don't think it's wrong. Like if I'm saying this song is fucking
I don't
good,
think it's wrong either. That's why I tell Metal Mike,
Yeah.
I choose not to do it anymore.
yeah, that's
And
fine.
I think
But
most
the thing
people
is,
are so surprised that I could turn it off.
if
like
I'm
that.
saying Bushy's a fucking dick, that's different. But I'm saying this song fucking rules. That is not bad.
Yeah, Bushy, just so you know, the little trick to the YouTube algorithm, usually only looks for cursing in like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, just tell Metal Mike to not curse for the first 10 minutes. It kind of does this little check, like, okay, this isn't obscene, moving on to the next video. Like, as long as he kind of keeps it clean for the first 10 minutes, he can curse 45 minutes later. No one will care.
Yeah, he's hard to keep in check. And I get it because I was that guy too. Like I said, it was just easy for me to turn off, but it's always been easy for me to do that depending on my environment.
Dude, it's like Freeform Rock Podcast started getting ads because we're starting to get a lot of views.
I try to cut down on my cursing,
And
not because I think it's wrong or anything. I just feel like it's kind of like a little stupid sometimes.
And
like,
I went on
think of better
Podbean.
words.
Sometimes
I went on Podbean and told them to stop putting the ads in front of the show because we play copyrighted music, and I just want us to have the artists get the money. I don't want to make money on artists.
I'd kill to get some ads so that we can make some revenue.
Dude, they were starting to put
we are
putting
sponsored
ads
now.
I was listening to our episodes in the beginning and they started putting Guns N' Roses book. And I go, what the fuck is this? I don't want this. I don't want to start. I made 16 cents and I cut it off because I do this for fun. I don't do this to make money, man. Our YouTube videos
16 cents.
pay us.
Did you keep
shit.
the 16 cents mark though?
No, I didn't take it.
Okay, so you're not a sellout.
No, I didn't take it.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
It's staying in the.
Bushy will take the 16 cents.
I won't take
We're
it.
actually sponsored now. We've partnered with a company in California, a company called Dubby. They do energy drinks and hydration drinks. And by drinks, I mean powders, no added sugars, no added any of that. There's no maltodextrose, none of that stuff.
You guys talked about that too much on your last episode. Just get to the episode, man.
I'm telling you again, the comes from the coffee fruit, not the bean, which is actually the seed. Shut up, Mark, because the people that watch you might not watch me. You can go to our page, top of the page. There's a link. It says get 10%
Sell
off.
out.
The Plug Podcast is the promo code. You get 10% off. Check them out. For those guys that are spending, let me put it to you this way. For these guys that are spending $4 or $5 for one monster, you could buy one tub of what this company offers for $34. You're paying $1.16 an energy drink. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, the BS and Freeform don't do ads. I cut them off as soon as I heard it, and they're gone.
And Bushy might not curse, but he'll throw you the finger.
I know.
Hey, Mark, what are you guys doing next week on BS? Let's get this moving.
Oh, BS. What are we doing?
I want to go to bed.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I got.
I don't know what we're doing right now. I'm drunk right now. So.
It's the album battle, Mark.
We're doing the album battle. What is it?
I don't know. I'm not on it.
Oh, you're not on it. All right. Well, during an album battle next week,
Is
Fabio
it the Scorpions
Vegas.
one?
I know Fabio Vegas did it. So.
Oh, it's Scorpions against
Except. Yeah, it's like
German versus German. I see
German
what you did
versus
there.
German.
Very clever. Very clever.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Good night, guys,
Very
man.
clever.
You guys rule. Sorry, Bushy.
A lot of fun, guys. Real pleasure.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
Love you
That'll
guys.
be good.
Good night, guys.
Later,
Good night.
Bushy.